Hi! I'm back. Ready to go again. Oh, come on, little YouTube app. Let me see my stream. Or not. What's up with my, okay, has my phone just frozen or something? No, it's just being a cock for no reason. Typical. Yep, still can't see my fucking stream. Thanks. So I have to go here and get it in my watch history. You ready for stream inception for just a minute? Hey Janet, hey Lori. Just trying to get my stream to it won't come up on my phone. Now it's going to come up on my phone. Okay, we can get off of this. Okay. Michael, where are you? Haven't decided who I want to pick yet, but it's probably going to be Cindric or Briscoe. You know, one of the reasons I didn't do the truck race last night, I had something else to go do, and I got to be honest, I'm not that invested in the truck series right now. It's been kind of a weak season for trucks, if I'm being honest. Xfinity's just been way better, and Cup is Cup. Even when Cup sucks, it's like still worth watching, but like I just haven't been invested in the truck series as much as the year has gone on. Plus, I need a break. I'm doing way too many races. Didn't really think this through back in February. No, I'm enjoying it. It's just that, good God, it's been since February almost every week. We had like a 2-month break, but even then I was doing the iRacing stuff. So I needed a me day. Plus, I slept retarded yesterday. I think I woke up at like... No, Thursday night I went to bed at like 12:30. Woke up at like 4 in the morning, not good. And then by 2 in the afternoon, I was tired again. Fell back asleep and slept all day. And then it was about time for the truck race. And I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. So, but today I'm okay. I slept a little better today. Then tomorrow night, I got to stream the race during a football game, which I don't know if I'm looking forward to that or not. I mean, I guess if one is boring, I can watch the other. So there'll be lots of football discussion during the race tomorrow too, because like I said, I'm going to be watching both at the same time. 7 o'clock is the Cup race tomorrow night, and then at 8:30 the Packers and the Saints start. Actually, about 8:15. Boy, it just seems obvious to pick either Briscoe or Cindric for this race. Although, thankfully, the track conditions in this race are vastly different from that Las Vegas race here in the spring. That was a terrible goddamn race. And I heard Chase Briscoe say a little while ago you couldn't move off the bottom lane. I'm like, oh yeah, because it was nighttime, it was cool, and you couldn't do shit. Sun's still out there, and it's all hot as fuck outside, so this race should be good. And it's going to be a transitional race, because by the end of the race it'll be dark. But it's still hot out there. Slick race tracks. Plus low downforce. Very good racing.
The Las Vegas lines up 6th. Marty?
Just call him a Las Vegas.
Half tracks here in the Xfinity Series this year. Nobody has been better than Austin Cindric. In fact, in this last 6 mile-and-a-half races, he has just one finish worse than second. But he told me, I feel like tonight could be a recipe for disaster for this field, because I feel like there's a lot of drivers in this field putting pressure on themselves that they have to get the win tonight. He said to me, that could create chaos on track, Kelly.
Rarely do you hear a driver sound as confident about going to victory lane as Brandon Jones was when I spoke to him a short while ago. He told me
So what's going to happen to get Brandon Jones to win now? The entire field's going to wreck? That's usually what happens.
Part of that confidence comes from a really good race car they had here for the spring race, but part of it is
He could be a first-round elimination, because I know he won a couple races, but they were total flukes.
out of the round of 12 for the first first time.
Except for the Phoenix one. Okay, I got to give him credit for the Phoenix one. That was great. I regret not streaming that race that day. Especially because that was the last normal Xfinity race before we had the pandemic strike and shut us all down. This season has felt like 3 seasons in one.
To sort of act like a sun visor as if you were in your passenger car. He said that will be a factor early in this race. The sunset coming off a turn 4, Rick.
Thanks, Marty. So it's time to get the engines fired. The drivers are strapped in. We turn it over now to Bubba Wallace.
Who?
No. Alsco uniforms and its employees and customers worldwide.
Michael Jordan's driver.
Drivers, start your engines.
That's some exciting news. We got a new team coming next year, which is good because we're losing Germain Racing and we're losing Levine Family Racing, so it's good to have another team step up out of the blue.
He will join.
I'm assuming Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin's team with Bubba driving is going to be like a Joe Gibbs knockoff team, so they should have a chance to be competitive. They better not get too competitive though, or Joe Gibbs will price them out of business like he always does. Don't get too competitive now. How many Alsco 300s have we had this year? This race is another one. Competition cost at lap 20. Yes, because they'll totally pit. I get to try to find a new part-time job this week. Hooray. I'm specifically going for part-time because I don't feel like blowing my brains out 5 or 6 days a week doing a job I don't like. So that'll be fun to look for. I have no right to be as picky about jobs as I am, but look, I'm a grown-ass man. I spent enough time being bored and miserable every day in school for however long I was in school, from kindergarten to graduation. So my job is not going to have anything for me anytime soon, probably at earliest spring, maybe, because the way my dad said it the other day is like I'll probably be working with he said he'd probably be working with his buddy through all of the winter, so I'm fucked. So I got to find something to do. I just want a little something to do. I don't want to do 5 or 6 days a week at the same shitty goddamn job like it. No. I want to avoid that as much as possible. So, of course, I wish I got paid to do this. Dude, if I got paid to do this, I'd be on here streaming every day, but that's just not a reality. I appreciate Michael's $2 or $3 a week, but it's not enough to live off. So yeah, I gotta find something to do. Unless people want to step up and volunteer to have me on here every day of the week, then I'd do it every goddamn day. I would do a 24-hour stream if I was getting paid. We could run those Batman games again for 24 hours.
You don't make them. Nobody views your season as a success.
He can't work with me for now. He didn't say it was permanent, and it didn't sound like it was permanent, but he was like, all winter it's probably not going to happen, so got to find something to do. Easy Street is over.
This was a career-defining year.
So
I've gotten to do
it blows.
This year that I literally dreamed of. I expect everyone to bring their A game to Vegas because it's going to be nuts trying to find your way through the playoffs.
Boy, I wish I got paid to stream.
That's the way I need to capitalize. Because so many guys see that as their ticket into the next round.
See, that's what I get for buying the computer.
The goal is to get to the next round.
I'm feeling good. I'm going to buy a computer. Oh, shit. Work is slowed down to a stop.
Toyota GR Supra in front of the field right now. And speaking of in front of the field, let's look at the starting lineup. Up front, it will be Chase Briscoe from Mitchell.
I don't regret buying the computer. I regret the timing.
Mooresville, North Carolina.
Well, hometown drivers Noah Gregson, outside row 3, and Riley Herbst inside row 5.
Send Michael a thing on Venmo. Hey, put me down for fucking Briscoe.
Michael and Matt ran very well here in the spring. Let's see if we can do it again tonight.
I bet he doesn't, Jeff.
Jeremy Clements, starting back there at 15. Timmy Hill.
quarterback, Joe Graff Jr. at the go 8 on 14 alongside B.J. McLeod. Let's see if we can chat with Riley Herbst in that number 18 junior.
Hey, Riley.
For fuck's sake, phone.
Yes, sir. All right, man, we're going to start this playoffs here at Las Vegas, your home track.
Oh, yeah, it's a playoff race.
Here today?
I knew that, but I felt compelled to tell you guys
Oh,
that.
man, you've seen everything. You know how special it is, racing in front of your hometown crowd.
Oh, I'll probably get something, but will it be something I like? Probably not. Part-time will ease the pain, though. I don't, like I said, I don't want to do 5 or 6 days a week. I'm just not mentally in a good space to do that.
Yeah, I think so. It's a typical late summer day here in Las Vegas.
So I'm just going to have to do something.
Be putting on one hell of a show and moving up to the fence here sooner rather than later.
That's what I like to hear. Well, good luck, buddy. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Quick shout out to Carol Connor. She's on our car, so just honored to have her part of the sponsor this weekend.
I just hope if something part-time is easy to find. You would think
Carol Connor's name, part of the
part-time would be easy to find, but it's probably not. Because in the past, I'd been like, got anything part-time? Nope, fuck.
Cancer heroes being recognized on the side of some of these cars tonight. We're going to ride along with a few different drivers tonight.
Which Indiana Jones movie was that? The shitty one? Part-time.
He's going to carry the Toyota onboard camera. Got a good partner with us tonight. OfferPad.com. Go check them out. Riding along with Ross Chastain. Look at this, guys. Got the great view helmet cam. Also, we got that thermometer in that car to see how hot it is.
Speaking of how hot it is and that perspective, we have someone a part of our team, Jesse Owuji. You were actually in the truck race last night, so you had that very same advantage, and you had to.
I didn't see jack shit from the truck race last night. Who won? It was Austin Hill won. That's all I know.
It's fun for sure, so it definitely was a good day. But yes, it was hot yesterday. Really relaxed. So hot that I actually burnt my heel. I was talking to my girlfriend who's a medical professional, and she told me that I have a pressure ulcer on my heel. And these are the kind of things that these drivers have to deal with in these races. It's physical with these drivers. A lot of things are happening with that heat. You gotta stay hydrated. You gotta stay focused. One of the things I noticed on this track is as the night starts coming in, as the sun starts going down, the track will start getting a little bit more grip. The thing is, with this track, one side of the track is going to be a little bit more shaded than the other. 1 and 2 is going to have shade. 3 and 4 is not. You're going to have less grip on 3 and 4, more grip on 1 and 2 just because of the cooler temperatures for the surface temperatures. I was checking it earlier today. Looks like the hotter side of the track will probably be around up to 120 degrees for the track surface. The other side will be probably about 15 degrees cooler than that. These drivers are going to have to.
So this first round of this playoff is most interesting because Las Vegas, pretty normal standard race, but then you have Talladega and the Charlotte road course. Oh, by the way, I can't go to Charlotte because they are only letting about 6,000 people into Charlotte, and they're not selling any more tickets. And I'm like, well, how are you going to pick the 6,000 out of the however many thousands you sold earlier this year? So I don't know how they decide who gets to go to Charlotte out of the people that bought tickets, but I just know I'm not one of them, so I don't get to go to the Roval. So I don't get to go to any race this year. Should have went to Bristol, but
has improved significantly over the past year.
So my NASCAR Heat $50 off coupon will never be used and go to waste. So oh well.
Kelly, before he climbed in, I had the chance to talk with the youngest driver in this playoff field, 19-year-old Harrison Burton, and he said, "I know it's been
unless somebody wants to pay for me to go to Talladega next week, I can't go to a race."
Coming in to this race, he said, for some reason, these worn-out racetracks like Las Vegas are where we have excelled this year. I think we might be flying under the radar a little bit, but I feel confident that
I would pay good money to see Noah Gragson get eliminated first round.
Thanks, Marty. And of course, Harrison
It can happen.
being a rookie, they don't get practice.
He can always do something stupid. He's very good at that.
They have been before, and we mentioned confidence.
After this race, I might go ahead and do all that application resume horse shit. I got a good fake resume lined up.
They're referencing the fact that he'll be driving for Chip Ganassi Racing in the Cup Series. Ross Chastain, so he's looking for a championship. All right, Steve, give us the numbers, the particulars of this race tonight.
Well, we've mentioned the racetrack, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 200 laps, 300 miles, both stage 1.
I don't know why the Cup race couldn't have been today, but whatever.
The final stage, 110 laps, pit road speed 45, and that fuel window around.
Could have gave me another weekend of uninterrupted football.
Stage separately on a tank of fuel, but that final stage, Rick, they're going to have to pit. If we don't get a yellow, we may see some green flag pit stops.
Okay, Junior, you threw out to Riley. Are we going to see that high line coming in? Is that where you're going to expect the most guys to move to make passes?
Well, we've seen it come in around.
I don't think Michael's got a bet for me, but I said Briscoe.
This race, so I expect them to get up there and use that middle groove, especially get up there against the wall late in the run. These restarts are going to be pretty.
I hate the process of finding a job more than the actual job. I'll procrastinate on this for days, I'm sure.
Two winningest drivers in 2020 make up row 1 in Chase Briscoe.
Briscoe, Cindric, Allgaier, and Chastain. If I was a betting man, I'd say Briscoe. Please let this be a better race than the first Las Vegas race this year.
Chase Briscoe jumps out front, had some help from the 7 of Justin Allgaier. But here comes Austin Cindric at that 22. The only 2 Fords in the field up front right now.
Already you see that outside lane working on this start of the race.
Well, that would be a vast improvement over the spring race. Briscoe led lap 1.
Briscoe getting the lead. Look here, Justin back here battling. He's lost several spots just in this first lap. Trying to understand where his car's at. Brandon Jones back there 3 wide. Lost his car for a little bit down on the inside, down the back straightaway.
Oh, got Harrison Burton moving to the inside, trying to get by Haley. Haley was blocking, didn't want to.
Boy, Justin Haley's been a bit of a,
We talked about it.
I won't say asshole, but there's like this newfound aggression I've seen in Justin Haley lately. Pretty much since Pocono. Since he tried to kill Riley Herbst at Pocono, Justin Haley's been like a new man. Racing hard. Crossing the line here and there.
And they've improved it since then.
Oh yeah, and Dale Jr. just pointed out, remember Ryan Sieg finished 3rd at Las Vegas earlier this year. Talladega's next week, so look, anybody, this Xfinity playoff could just get totally blown up and not make any sense between Talladega and Charlotte.
Brandon Brown earlier this week, he made the comment he wants to beat Ryan Sieg because these are team-owned, family-owned teams in the Xfinity Series. He wants to be the best family-owned team in the Xfinity Series, which means he's got to beat Ryan Sieg.
Tough to do. Seeing these guys that really got their program rolling in the last couple of years.
Janet, I've never done a resume in my life because I don't have a resume. I mean, just having past jobs, I guess, doesn't really count as a good resume because everybody's had jobs.
It's the first time ever they have run a car from the shops of RCR. In fact, it left from Welcome, North Carolina, and came straight to Las Vegas. It's actually the car that Myatt Snyder ran at Pocono, almost won that race with, finished 4th there. And they asked, hey, is it possible for us to get a car to run in the playoffs? We feel like Vegas would be the race we would choose. We feel like it's the most important race of the playoffs for us. We'll see if this pays off for RSS Racing in the car coming from the RCR stable and also running well right now.
Well, I hope they keep running in that outer groove to rubber it in.
Up in front right now, or at least
Not that helped in the spring because the Cup cars ran everywhere and the Xfinity race was right after, and they were all glued to the bottom in the Xfinity race. So.
Everything after that now is cream. And here's what he had to say about trying to be.
Hear that? Rick Allen says everything is cream. Whatever that means.
You know, we beat Clement's family team to make it into the playoffs. Now I got to go beat Sieg's family team to make it to the next round. You know, that's kind of our viewpoint. I guess if I have to set a new goal, I want to be the best family team there is in NASCAR. So I got to go out and I got to beat Sieg's now.
I like Brandon Brown.
Brandon Brown running in the 14th position right now. Ryan Sieg is 8th. Again, Briscoe, Cindric running 1 and 2. Kelly.
And Ryan Sieg isn't the only one with some equipment improvements and updates for this race. I talked to Brandon Brown right before the start of this one. He said he was so excited because they did get their ECR motor program together to start in time for this playoff race here at Las Vegas. So he said, I think that's really going to help us in terms of both fuel mileage and horsepower, and that'll help level the playing field. So he was really excited about that. He kind of feels like if he can put the pressure to some of the bigger team drivers, he can take advantage of any mistakes they might make ahead of him.
Joe Gibbs Racing drivers running.
Caution is out. What happened?
Comes out. And this is early. There was a competition caution that is.
Oh, the 47. What a shame.
That's the reason Kyle Weatherman in the
Back the blue. Backed it into the wall.
Steering. I literally have no steering wheel. I tried keeping out of the wall, but I could not steer the thing.
Back the blue. Back into the wall.
It sounds like a mechanical issue with the steering. He's playing a little defense on the pace car.
Oh, yeah, because I haven't said it in a while. Fuck the police. And fuck the 47 car.
In contact with the wall. I can't tell if the right front tire is flat.
What the fuck? Okay, he didn't back it into the wall, but he pulled over. Like a good bootlicker, he pulled over.
Kyle's not going to just drive to the front stretch wall on his own. Attack the inside wall there. He was running 30th. The 23-year-old.
He says he has no steering wheel.
Race car's fine.
The pace car can't get out on the track because the 47 is parked right where the pace car is
so he
at.
climbs out of the car and early ending for Kyle Weatherman. This is the reason for caution 1.
That's pretty funny. Don't you just love the really dumb stock music they play when they go to commercial? It's like borderline porn sounding music. Wow, cell phone, way to totally not alert me when I got that message about 30 minutes ago that I'm just now seeing. Ah. Matt Mills is the free pass. Hooray for him, I guess. And there's still going to be a pointless caution at lap 20. Well, I tell you, I think tomorrow's race might kind of suck. It might suck, I don't know. But after that, you get Talladega and Charlotte Road Course, so it'll be a good couple of weeks. I just really, I hate I can't go to Charlotte. I should have bought a ticket, but I was not about to buy a ticket to a race that I don't know that I could go to for sure, and have them just be like, yeah, we won't give you your money back, but if you want a ticket to a race next year, we'll put it on that, because that's generally what most of the racetracks were doing. I mean, I would have got a ticket for like $15 because I'm using that $50 off coupon, but still, I'm not buying something that I don't know for sure that I can have, you know. So I held out, but now I don't get to go to Charlotte. That's a bummer. Of course, we could try Martinsville, but that's a long shot. Going to Martinsville would be fucking dope. Matter of fact, I need to message Dylan about that tomorrow. But, hey, man, I'm thinking Martinsville. We can't go to Charlotte. And that's another one, though. They're not sure they're going to let people into Martinsville either. They don't fucking know if they are or not.
Setting the playoff field. Coverage is available at enascar.com.
So I'm probably just shit out of luck.
Will be part of calling the action. It's going to be
of course, flights are really cheap. I could go to Phoenix. Fly to Phoenix for $10. Cheapo Air.
Talking a lot about family teams. Jesse, there's another family team didn't quite make it into the playoffs this year, though.
Yes, that's Jeremy Clement. So he was mentioning on the radio.
He just called him Jeremy Clement.
Turning the steering wheel. That could be for a lot of different reasons. It definitely is hot out here. When you go into turns 3 and 4, there's a lot of sun beaming down on the track surface. If you have any kind of tight condition, it's going to amplify that. That's because of the higher temperatures on the track. He's planning on coming into the pits and making some adjustments, taking some wedge out, and hopefully that can make the car just a little bit looser so he can get through the corners, but we'll see how that helps. But yeah, these hot conditions are definitely affecting these race cars, probably not in the best way possible.
Jesse, other than Jeremy Clements, most of the lead lap cars staying
Jeremy
out.
Clements.
You guys noticed and noted that Justin Allgaier lost a lot of spots on the initial start of the race. He explained why in a radio conversation a moment ago.
I think timing, like being up next to the 22 like I was, as soon as the 10 got to my rear quarter, like I think if we'd have been side by side, going on the front straightaway, we would have been fine. But because he was talking out so hard that just let all those other guys get momentum on me.
Jeff, as a driver, you're always making notes on what happened on every restart, right? Noting that, hey, if I lost spots, I don't want to do that next time. So Justin, as much as anything, saying that to his spotter, Eddie DeHaan. So he'll write it down and remind Justin about that on the restart coming up here shortly.
Yeah, Marty, that's exactly right. Just learn.
This caution does not need to be as long as it is.
Where you want to restart and who you want to restart around. You know, what Justin was talking about there is the guys on the outside of him just put their car on his door, and that just slowed his momentum down because it shoved all of their air on him and just put all the drag on that car, and then the cars on the outside just rolled right on by him. So we'll be interested to see how many people pick the top on this restart that's coming up.
The choose rule. I'm glad you brought that up. Now everybody has the opportunity to choose which line they want to get into, either the outside line or the inside line. That's coming up here. NASCAR puts that cone, more or less, or box, about 2 seconds after the start-finish line. That's when they have to determine which line they want to take.
Yeah, cone and a box. You got to get both. You see it right here, just past the start-finish line. You can kind of make it out on the pavement. The whole idea is, there it is right there, the cars will go on either side of it.
Could they not have put that choose box a little more centered on the racetrack?
Touch the orange box, it's a penalty. We'll see as these guys select. Guys, I'm waiting for everyone to stack up and knock their nose off one of these. It's like the interstate. You know, you get to start finish line, everybody starts checking up to make a decision left or right.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to make a decision. It's interesting, too, how listening to crew chiefs and drivers and spotters talk about which lane to pick. Like, who's in charge of this thing? And every team does it different. I really think the driver needs to make that pick. I think we shouldn't make it too complicated, and the driver just needs to go where he thinks is best.
Marty.
Chase Briscoe has led all 12 laps, Rick, but is he having a little bit of vision problem about the windshield of the 98? Listen. What he's talking about is on the inside of the windshield.
Yeah, they got the sun visor tape on the inside of Briscoe's windshield, and he says he can't see shit. They got it too low.
That setting sun here in Vegas.
You see a little bit of black tape on the red there. When he goes into the banking of the corner, he cannot see around the rest of the corner. It kind of blocks the view of the exit.
Hey, he's leading the race. He don't need to see. There ain't nothing in front of him. You'll be all right.
Here as well, Chastain, if we're looking, we cannot see around the corner. Lowering that tape, you got a lot of times right where the wall is, you'll cut the tape in an angle right there, like this right here. Up like here, this is where you meet up in that area. So they cut that at an angle so he can see around the corner much better. Some of these guys just have to figure that out.
That's teamwork right there, guys. That's impressive. All right, once again, it's the 2298s making up row number 1 as we get ready for the restart.
Good restart by Cindric. And it's going to work out for him because Chastain's 3 wide on the outside of Briscoe, and Cindric takes the lead. I didn't think it was going to work for him because he didn't get a good push from Gragson, but Chastain put Briscoe 3 wide, and now Briscoe's all the way back and forth. And now Chastain's around Cindric for the lead on the outside. Wow. And now Cindric's trying to take it back. Hard on the gas in the center. Car's bouncing around. And Cindric keeps it.
How aggressive will he be? Racing these Xfinity guys, he's going to have to deal with them next year. So he can go and do some things that others may not feel comfortable doing.
Just having some security and knowing
that was a great restart by Chastain. Didn't get the lead out of it, though.
Free battle for third, closing in on Chastain. Gragson in that 9 car. Briscoe off the back bumper of Ross's car. It's going to be a short sprint here. NASCAR's let us know that they're going to stick with around lap 20 for a competition yellow. It's only 4 or 5 laps from now.
And Steve, they're doing that so that the guys can check tires. What is it that they're wanting to do since there was no practice or qualifying?
They want to give the crews the opportunity to bring their car down pit road. As you see Noah Gragson make a move to the inside of 98, was unable to get there. Give the teams an opportunity. If your car's ill handling, you want to make adjustments, you can pit. I actually expect most of these will stay on the racetrack, but that'll give the whole field at least the opportunity to pit.
Kelly, what's going on with Ross Chastain now that he's running second?
Well, you guys were talking about his level of aggression now that he knows he has a ride lined up for the Cup Series next year. But remember when we talked to him on Zoom earlier this week and he said, look, it doesn't change anything for me. I can't want this anymore. I can't try any harder. This is a driver who doesn't care about points racing. He cares about collecting trophies, which is the same motto his car owner, Matt Collin, has. So he's not changing anything about his style of driving. Now, I have to tell you, he looks super fast right now, but he told his crew chief that he feels like the rear of the car is out of the track. He said he's chattering over the bumps, kind of feels like he's got a solid axle. So they're looking for some changes to that car when it comes to pit road.
I can confirm the back of the car looked out of the track. It was underneath the tent. I was tensing up, waiting for that car to spin around.
Let's go watch it. See the 98 car goes to the bottom, and the 10 of Chastain right on his door.
Yeah, that was almost a playoff disaster. Briscoe and Chastain almost got together.
Race car off the racetrack, just trying to keep control of it.
We are going to talk a lot about the guys that are in the playoffs, but not everybody out there is in the playoffs. That guy in the 21 car having a great run.
Yeah, Anthony Alfredo out there.
Anthony has
Gragson working on Chastain for second, and the caution just came out. That's not, the 61, Austin Hill.
It's Austin Hill behind the wheel.
So I would imagine this will serve as the competition caution.
And since he was off track.
I don't think I did anything that was really weird. Wanted to get to the outside of those two. And
Yeah, he won the truck race last night.
it just got loose.
There you have it, explaining to his crew, his team, what actually happened. I think NASCAR's probably going to say that this will be the competition caution, sure enough.
Now, Rick, you asked what will teams
Yay.
do. Only had 13
Matt Mills gets the free pass again. Matt Mills got the free pass twice in 20 laps.
Let's take a look what happened at 61. Jeff, you mentioned it, the winner from the truck race.
He's the fastest slow car on the track.
Kind of caught the end of it. Looks like he's spinning down the racetrack.
You see, he was jumping on the outside of Brent Moffitt trying to pass him, and it just got really loose. These cars make a ton less downforce than a truck does. And, after driving that truck, maybe
Yeah, them trucks are packed with downforce. Hey, Michael.
We talk a lot about the teams, the drivers.
She put me down for Briscoe.
About the mechanics, the engineers.
That's who I
Guys
said.
jump over the wall for these teams.
Not going to chase any odds this week. I just said put me for Briscoe.
You see kind of a notable list on the left side of your screen right there. Chase Briscoe uses the 14 Cup crew with a few exceptions. Austin Cindric, Justin Allgaier uses the 9s. We see Hendrick Motorsports, Stuart Haas Racing representative, Team Penske, even Chip Ganassi Racing. They're 42 and 1 crew, both pit of college racing.
I didn't stream last night. Had a complicated day, sleep-wise and other things. So I just didn't stream.
We're seeing a few, a smattering. It looks like a group of guys in the back here. Brandon Brown.
I already told everybody I fell asleep at 12:30 on Thursday night, woke up at 4 in the morning, and then by 2 in the afternoon I got knockout tired Friday, and then I slept till about 7 last night and woke up and was just absolutely not feeling the truck race because I haven't been that invested in the trucks anyway this year. So I missed another one, but I ain't that worried about it. Like I said, trucks have been kind of meh lately. At least it seems that way to me. Maybe it's just that time of year where I start losing interest, because usually around this time of year I start losing interest, and I just primarily watch Cup and keep up with everything else. But Xfinity has been fun enough to where I still feel like I really want to watch it. Yeah, I saw the odds. Well, yeah, just go with Briscoe then. I don't trust anybody else. The other obvious pick would be Cindric, but I still don't trust him to not give it up doing something stupid. Chastain hasn't won all year. And this track's 1.5 miles, and it's bigger than anything Justin Allgaier is probably going to win on, so I'll just say Briscoe. Tomorrow I got to do some thinking, though. I've started looking at the odds myself, so I got to think about tomorrow. Anthony Alfredo winning would be cool. Matt Mills got 2 free passes in the first 20 laps. I wonder what the record is for most free passes. Let's look that up. Is that a thing we can Google? Most free passes in a single NASCAR race. Well, I want to know who got the most free passes in a single race. What will it say on the Wikipedia page? Statistics. J-Ski, 7 drivers have won a race being the beneficiary of the free pass. Ryan Newman did it twice because of course he did. Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch did it twice. Kurt Busch, Casey Kane, Joe Logano, Kevin Harvick. Most beneficiaries in one race. Jamie McMurray, 6 at Talladega in 2014. There you go. The more you know, people. Right there.
Justin Allgaier in that 7 car.
That's the list of the most in a single race.
Not getting 18 car.
And the only one it really worked out for was Kyle Busch at Watkins Glen in 2006. He got 5 and he ended up getting the top 10 out of it.
Jesse.
See, look, we learned something today.
Yeah, guys, so right now, looking at the track chart.
And Matt Mills has 2 right now, so.
You can see at this current moment, the track temperature is about 105 degrees.
Oh, MR, I'm going to take a chance next week and pick a long shot for Talladega, try to steal some money. I'm going to pick like Ty Dillon or something. Try to get Michael to steal me some money. I'll have to study the odds list for Talladega long and hard next week.
Get more grip as time goes on, but we'll see. We'll continue to monitor these track temps as the night goes on.
Thank you, Jesse Awuzie. You have nothing to add to this broadcast. But he fills a minority quota, so he's here.
It gets a little bit warmer when they go slower, right? So the air
NASCAR very much needs to work on their minority quotas. Hey guys, remember how I used to like Hailie Deegan? I don't like her anymore. I think she's kind of retarded. Hailie Deegan was on her dad's podcast making fun of everybody that thinks coronavirus is real because her and her dad say it's fake and it's all made up, it's a hoax, and that it doesn't affect anyone. I'm like, well, tell that to the 200,000 people that died, you dumb bitch, but whatever. So yeah, I don't really like Hailie Deegan anymore because I discovered she's a complete fucking retard. Restart, lap 24 of 25 and 45 in stage 1. Obviously 25. So yeah, in case you missed it, Hailie Deegan is now officially a retard.
Briscoe is. Look at, he just couldn't get launched at all.
Good God. Briscoe shit the bed 2 restarts in a row. Here comes Chastain. I feel like I've already wasted a pick because Briscoe's running like shit now. Chastain takes the lead. Clear Cindric, but not by much. Holy hell. I wasn't sure they were going to make it through that corner without one of them going around. Oh, Jesus Christ. Cindric and Gragson about got together. That would have made my dreams come true. It would have been unfortunate because they would have taken Sieg with them. But if I could watch Cindric and Gragson eat shit, I'd be a very happy man. God, Gregson's putting his nose in there and just running up guys' asses. Ryan Sieg the second. I don't know if Gregson's car is going to hold the bottom that well. Gregson's car looked like it was about to snap loose any time now and just wipe out Cindric. Coming through 4 that time.
front stretch.
And, wow, Briscoe passed Haley and Gregson as he shoved Cindric by both of them as well. So Briscoe's car is starting to come back to him.
Look at this battle.
That's some hard racing.
Noah trying to side draft the 11 car.
Gregson, the man on the move. Las Vegas native.
Ryan Sieg is on Chastain's bumper for the lead, if you can believe it. But I don't think either of them are going to be up front very long. I still think Briscoe's the fastest car. He's got it going again now. He's all the way back up to third.
I mean, he runs well enough to make the playoffs. Junior, it was just, he didn't run the full season. How about this? Ryan Sieg has run Ross Chastain, the leader, down only 0.2.
We get 3 Talladega races in one weekend next week.
And the effort put into this 39 car. All right, what would it mean for this 39?
I will stream all 3 next weekend.
Would be an upset in this playoff field. Yeah, for all the under.
I'm still disappointed we're not getting trucks at the Roval yet. Not this year, anyway. But hey, we get Cup at Circuit of the Americas next year.
They're looking terrific as he tries to get the lead from Ross Chastain.
Damn, Ron Sieg's going to go for the lead here.
Chassis all year long, but usually it's about a generation old. So this is the first time Ross Chastain has ever sat in a brand new RCR car, new for this year, and it's been run earlier this year, as we mentioned. And it's
so Sieg's got himself a proper RCR car, chassis and everything, and he's taking the lead right now from Ross Chastain. He better get it and drive away.
That has 4 or 5 full-time employees, and he's going right by Ross Chastain, trying to take the lead here at Vegas.
Chastain's not going to give it up.
Did I have a meltdown? No, I actually laughed, Michael. I laughed because I kind of predicted it in the second half when I just saw how Atlanta's defense wasn't stopping anything. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna end well if we don't keep the pressure on. And to the Falcons' offense credit, specifically the offense, they scored almost every drive. Every time Dallas scored, Atlanta came back and scored twice. But the Falcons' defense, holy shit. I don't know what to say. All I'm saying is, if you're a fantasy football player, you might want to get Mitchell Trubisky for your fantasy team tomorrow. I know you would never expect anyone to say that in a million years, but if you can get Mitchell Trubisky on your fantasy team, start him tomorrow because the Bears are playing the Falcons. Atlanta might score 50 points, but Chicago will score about 65.
So first stage won't be an issue. I imagine everyone will just put tires on at the end of that stage. Because now we see 39 on the left-hand side.
And Chastain's held off Sieg for now. He's starting to drive away from Sieg a little bit.
Probably talk about more bumps than a 3 and 4.
15 to go in stage 1.
The sun being on one end of the racetrack than the other. I really think some of the bigger difference, not just track temperature, but roughness. 1 and 2 has some really big swells around the bottom and the middle of the racetrack. Yeah, down in the entrance to turn 1 on the bottom groove. Very, very rough.
Definitely start Trubisky tomorrow. Atlanta's missing their starting corner and their starting free safety. Because, oh yeah, AJ Terrell has coronavirus. And practiced with the team on Friday before they knew that he had it. So the first NFL locker room that probably has COVID running around in it is Atlanta.
This doesn't surprise me, Junior.
We'll see.
1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. We've seen this pretty consistent races in the past year. And he can move around here a lot. And
Briscoe is catching up to Sieg and Chastain. It could be a photo finish for stage 1 at this rate.
Homestead, some other racetracks do. See Ryan back to the bottom.
You got Atlanta. Oh boy, you're gonna lose some money on that.
Take the lead from his 10 car. Now he's lost a little bit. 10 searched around and found some speed. Ryan Sieg going with there.
Yeah.
39.
So this is big for Ryan Sieg in the sense that playoff points. I'm sorry,
Stage points, you
if
jackass.
He can get up here and get a second place finish in this stage. That's 9 stage points that he's going to be getting.
Like I said, you remember what I said last week?
Really good point.
Let me mute this for a second. Remember what I said last Saturday night? I'm pretty sure I said it during the Bristol race. I said, if Atlanta's offensive line holds up against Dallas, you will see 40 to 50 points. They're that good. And they did. Atlanta scored 39 points. So I was pretty much right on that, but the defense is so bad. They're not going to overcome that. That's just the way it is. Atlanta scoring about 32 to 35 a game, but the defense is giving up about 40 a game. So.
Now back up to third. Jeff, you mentioned spinning the tires on the restart.
I laughed because I was just in awe at the fact that nobody got fired after last week.
Like if I don't bring him down somewhat fast, I lug so hard taking off, but then if I bring him down fast, takes off initial good.
Trubisky's going to have like 500 yards tomorrow.
Jeff, here's the dilemma for a driver, right? Sometimes you can start to overthink that, right? There's so many little nuances that go on in a restart. Chase certainly trying to figure it out.
That is a damn good car Ron Sieg has right now.
Was his worst one of the day.
Marty, it's so difficult when you're trying to figure it out, but you have to, because restarts.
Tomorrow night, like I said, it's going to be a hybrid stream. It's going to be like part Sunday Night Football, part Cup race. I'm going to title it that it's the Cup race live reaction, but we're going to be talking football during it.
Only 9 to go in this stage. You won't miss a thing as we go to NASCAR.
9 to go. Looks like Briscoe's kind of stalled out where he is. I would have expected Briscoe to blow by Sieg by now and be putting pressure on Chastain, but there's still 9 laps here. Tomorrow I'm going to be watching the Raiders and the Patriots, and I guess because it'll be shown here, I'll have the Falcons game in the background at 1 o'clock. But I don't really care to pay much attention to it. Three-car battle for the lead right now. 3 cars under a blanket with 8 to go in stage 1. And Sieg making another move for the lead. He's running bottom. Chastain and Briscoe are running the top. Chastain smoked him off of 2 there. Got a great run. And now Chastain's changed his lineup in 3 and 4. He's running the bottom there. Boy, it really looks like they're about to come together and have this crazy 3-car battle, but when they get to 3 and 4, it's like Chastain's able to stretch it out again. Briscoe is to the outside of Sieg now for second. And Sieg is underneath Chastain for the lead. Sieg's still in front of Briscoe. Probably not for long. He's laying over. He's giving him the outside lane. He could have been a dick and just stayed in front of him there going to 3. But he laid over. Figure if he's fast enough to pass you up there, you might as well let him go. And he is. Moved Briscoe to second, and here comes Briscoe for the lead. Wow, passed them both in one swoop. He shot to the outside, motored around Sieg, and then when they came off the corner, he shot to the bottom and got under Chastain, and now Briscoe's in the lead. So, hooray. Could win some money tonight. Could have. It's been the longest 45-lap stage 1 ever. I'm so fucking hungry. I had a shitty dinner, and I was not at all thrilled with it. Sounded like a good idea. Like, hey, I'll get some of that Kentucky grilled chicken and some macaroni and baked beans. Yeah, it just wasn't good. I'm still fucking hungry. But that was my shot today. No more food till tomorrow.
House goes 300 from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're seeing a pretty good run out of Ross.
Nah, Jeff, really, I didn't read that this week. You're the first guy to tell. I'm kidding, Jeff.
Yeah, Chase got up there and took the lead, but Ross has now moved up the racetrack and found some more speed up there and is hanging on the back bumper of this 98 car. Watch here in turn 1 and 2. Ross just a little bit higher, back to the gas, a little bit harder.
You know, it's easier to be not upset when something like that happens when you despise the people on the team that made that whole loss happen.
A guy's out front and he's setting the pace. Is it harder to run the exact pace that you want?
You know what I mean?
Or is it easier when you've got somebody in front of you and you're chasing them and you can go after them and maybe be more aggressive?
Well, Chastain's not really falling off here. He's still right there with Briscoe.
That you follow. If you're a lead car out there by yourself, you kind of have to figure it out on your own. But when a guy drives by you, like this 98 Briscoe has done, it's certainly challenging Chastain to look for more speed and go other places that he hasn't been yet on the racetrack.
You have to take advantage of the strengths of your car and kind of hope that that's in an area where his car is not good.
Whoa, Chastain's in the wall. Ah, that was pretty significant.
Look in the car. Should have told him to be easy before.
Whoa.
Easy.
That looked way worse on the in-car camera than it actually was, I think, but damn. Chastain.
Composite bodies, so
Yeah, if that was a Cup car, that'd be a day ender, but you know how these Xfinity cars are. Durable. But damn, that looked pretty rough on the end car.
You for me, I'm not used to seeing wrecks from inside the car.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but Jesus Christ, it was like the world was ending on the visor cam.
Right here, his hands start going back to the right. Come around turn 4. This is actually
Last lap of stage 1.
yeah, final lap here of the stage.
He got a little greedy. Trying to get back to the gas, that's all.
The new driver of the 42 next year.
His hands, as soon as his hands went back to the right, that's just losing.
I like Ross, but he's got to like cut that. He does that kind of shit way too often. He's got to cut that out. Chase Briscoe went stage 1.
Those playoff points, and he's going to add another one to it. Chase Briscoe, who won here in Las Vegas earlier this year, has won stage 1. Briscoe looking to sweep the Vegas races this season, and if he does, again a win advances you to the round of 8, the next round. He's won the first stage. Now it's in the hands of the crew.
Shut up. What did I say during the onside kick? God, I wish I had been streaming because I didn't even, like, I didn't get, like, what the fuck? You know, I don't get like that, usually. But when that ball starts rolling and I see Hayden Hurst and Alameda Zacchaeus and those guys, I'm like, is somebody going to jump on that shit? And then sure enough, nobody did. Because I know the fucking rules. Yes, the ball has to go 10 yards for the kicking team to touch it. But the receiving team can just run up and get that shit any time. And I'm like, well, why the fuck are we just standing there? I was like, oh, jeez. I was like, what'd you expect, you know? I was annoyed through the entirety of that game because I know that defense. Atlanta, right? So Atlanta's offense was on point as usual because Matt Ryan's a fucking stud. Atlanta's offense is on point. Every time Dallas scores, Atlanta scores again. It wasn't like they got careless with a lead on offense. You know, they were still playing hard and being aggressive there, so I had no complaints. But through the whole game, I was very irritated because I'm like, Atlanta gets the ball and they have these 7 to 9 minute drives of like 8 to 12 plays, and then they score. Dallas gets the ball back and it's boom, 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 touchdown in like 3 plays. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, you guys can't even slow them down? Because they were scoring about every 2 minutes. Now, like I said, Atlanta would take 7.5 to 8 minutes to fucking get in the end zone. But that's just how we play on offense, which there's nothing wrong with that. You saw how valuable time of possession is in that Raiders-Saints game Monday night because Coach Gruden's throwing the game back to the fucking 90s with the way he calls offense, which I like because I think time of possession is very underrated. It's not going to put any more points on the board, and it's not going to guarantee your victory, but if your team has a significantly weaker defense, like the Raiders, like the Falcons, time of possession needs to be very important. Just give the other team less time. But it didn't matter because Dallas would score in about 1.5 to 2 minutes. And they would do it running the ball, primarily. Of course, till late when they were just throwing it all over the yard.
Good the different teams are doing on the
So that's why that's the only thing that actively pissed me off throughout that game was just this lackadaisical horseshit defense we have that I knew was going to be bad from week 1 because I saw the list of corners we have on the team, and now we got one list for tomorrow. So like I said, if you're a fantasy football player, pick up Trubisky. He's going to have a huge fucking game tomorrow. Atlanta doesn't have Ricardo Allen or A.J. Terrell, not that they were being much help anyway. Especially Ricardo Allen.
And we're going to start off with Kelly.
Ross Chastain said he just pedaled it a little bit too hard there when he got into
Atlanta's got a very capable front 7. But even they pissed me off Sunday. They couldn't get any fucking pressure on anybody. No Tyron Smith, but we got like what one sack the whole game.
Don't do anything crazy. We're pretty good right here. He said he'd like to rotate better in the center of the corner, an air pressure adjustment, also a track bar adjustment at the very front end of pit road. Chase Briscoe and his team. He said the car is just edgy. I cannot haul it off into the corner like I would like. I think we can go pretty big here. You see a wedge adjustment for Briscoe, and it's going to be.
And Ron Sieg's coming off pit road in second.
Stays in the lead, leaving pit road.
Impressive for the 39 team.
New England did the right thing because let's be honest, if the Patriots had ran that play against Seattle 10 times, New England would have scored 7 or 8 out of the 10 times. So New England made the right call there with Cam. I'm actually really looking forward to the Raiders and Patriots tomorrow because I'm like, hey, these are two teams that I'm very interested in after this past week. New England is still going to win the AFC East. I know Buffalo's good, but New England's going to win the AFC East like they always do. I was convinced of that coming into the season, and then I've seen how the Patriots have played the first 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, they'll be fine, and they're only going to get better. New England is not a team that gets worse. They get better. They usually start, if anything, they would usually start out slow, but they started out pretty good, and they're only going to get better. For Cam's sake, I hope that before the trade deadline, they could swing a trade for like fucking Odell Beckham or Emmanuel Sanders or something, because I don't think Emmanuel Sanders is going to work out in New Orleans because Drew Brees' noodle arm can't get the ball further than 4 yards down the field. Sanders is an over-the-middle, down-the-field kind of guy, but the Saints' offense is so not going to be able to do that. Unless you want to put Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston in, then they might have a shot. Of course, you put Jameis Winston in, the other team has an even better shot at getting back in a game. Seattle's going to outscore a lot of people this year, but if anything is going to cost Seattle, it's going to be their shitty defense. Their defense is almost as bad as Atlanta's. Like, they are ridiculously bad, despite the fact that Jamal Adams is playing, like, all-pro level right now. Except for those times Julian Edelman, like, tossed his salad on Sunday night. That was funny. You know, it's on defense and on... It's like the quarterback gets blamed for everything if a team's losing. But on defense, people talk about, man, this guy's playing great, but that guy doesn't get blamed at all. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, Seattle's defense sucks ass, but Jamal Adams is fucking ridiculous. He's playing so good.
Stage 1 of race 1 in the Xfinity Series playoffs is in the book. Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric came into this round atop the board. You see Chase Briscoe now has the edge after stage
Seattle's going to have to win a lot of shootouts, and they can do it. You can get to a Super Bowl winning shootouts. Defense optional to a point.
Trotter did earlier today. She was at the Bull Ring. She became the first female.
But Arizona is going to be hard to beat.
Someone to watch. What about something to watch?
I trust Seattle more than I trust Arizona, but I really, really like Arizona right now.
Definitely watching a lot of things. Right now looking at Joe Kraft Jr., currently in the 28th position. Joe Kraft's a pretty busy guy. He's currently a full-time student at NYU studying business, media, and sports management. And this guy owns 80 pairs of sneakers.
You hear that? Joe Kraft owns 80 pairs of sneakers.
It's really cool to see that.
You learn something else. You learn that the most free passes in a single race was 6 by Jamie McMurray at Talladega in 2014. And now you know Joe Kraft owns 80 pairs of sneakers.
You can actually sell all those shoes and actually probably buy a race car with that from some of the teams out here. So it's safe to say that.
And he's only 22 years old.
Sneakerhead.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. And also, Joe is riding for a cause tonight also for My Face. He's donating $10 a lap, up to $2,000.
Brian Schottenheimer learned what Kyle Shanahan had to learn in Atlanta. If you remember, Kyle Shanahan's first year in Atlanta, the offense was dog shit. But the second year when he gave Matt Ryan more control, and it was more about what Matt Ryan wanted to do with audibles and everything. Of course, he took that out of his hands at the Super Bowl, but for the rest of the year, it was primarily Matt's offense with Shanahan. I think Brian Schottenheimer's finally just letting it be Russell's deal. They keep saying let Russ cook. That was the thing they kept saying. They're letting Russ cook, and I think they're better off for it.
They're going to fan out here. 3 wide as the 22.
People act like Kyle Shanahan's some kind of fucking wizard. He wasn't shit until he got to Atlanta. He had some decent offenses in the past.
Yeah, I like that high side on these restarts.
And then Matt Ryan turned him into a head coach. Maybe in retrospect, they should have fired Dan Quinn and kept Shanahan somehow.
Briscoe, Sieg, Chastain.
Stage 2, Briscoe, Sieg, and Chastain out front. Brandon Jones fourth. Sieg is having such a good day. 98's got the winning car, but Sieg is not that far off.
On the outside right there, was unable to score points in that first stage. Had a good position coming in, Rick. I'm not worried about the 7 car, but not the performance we were expecting.
He comes in ranked 3rd as far as playoff points, 33 entering this race. So maybe not a big concern, but at the same time, most of his competitors are concerned if he makes it to Phoenix because he's one of the best there.
Well, we've talked about what's coming. Justin Allgaier had a good regular season. He wants to carry those points through today and have a little bit less pressure at Talladega and the Roval. A poor run here, Marty, is just putting the 7. While you won't be below the cut line, he is now asking a lot more heading to Talladega.
Steve, in that first stage, Justin Allgaier absolutely.
I think an underrated game tomorrow is going to be Houston at Pittsburgh. I'm undecided on it. I lean Pittsburgh because I just think Houston sucks. Pittsburgh's really good at losing games they shouldn't lose, though. So I'm actually struggling on what game to watch at 1. It's probably going to be Patriots and Raiders, but I'd like to keep an eye on that Houston-Pittsburgh game.
The crew chief took a large swing at it here at the stage break, but yeah, you made the point, Steve. They did not get any stage points there, and for the guy who came in with so much momentum, they expected a lot out of tonight. But the one point Jason Burdett brought up to Justin, he said, hey, this track is going to drastically change, and to that point, the sun setting below the Turn 1 grandstands, he's right, it will get a lot different and much cooler here at Vegas, and that's going to affect the handling of the cars.
Here's the 7th teammate at 9 of Gregson. I like Jason Burdett.
Oh my God, Gregson, please. Gregson tried to squeeze up between Jones and Chastain and about hooked himself into the outside wall. God, that would have made my day.
Make him feel like he's there with you. I'm not sure there would contact between all 3.
Why don't I play fantasy football? I don't know. I kind of got tired of managing it. It's not even that much of a hassle, but I played for a couple of years. It's like, you know what, I'm tired of waking up on Sunday mornings and worrying about a fantasy football lineup. I'd rather just watch the games. I was good at fantasy football. A lot of fantasy football is luck, but I was pretty good at figuring shit out and being I had Aaron Jones on my fantasy team before anybody knew who he was because the Packers had a bunch of injuries, and I'm like, yeah, they're about to be a run-heavy team. I'm going to pick up Aaron Jones. And then he was a fucking stud. So that was one of the times where I saw something coming before a lot of other people did. I was like, yeah, give me Aaron Jones. He's going to be good.
A lot of speed to this race tonight. Anthony has sim seats on there. Great sponsorship with sim racing. And he's working to try to,
I like how these NASCAR guys are so out of touch. They talk about iRacing and sim shit like anybody can go buy it. Like, no, we can't. It's fucking expensive as shit to even get a computer. Yeah, that'd be good underdog. I don't think the Packers are an underdog tomorrow. I'm sure the odds will have the Packers as underdogs, but after seeing how the Saints played on Monday night against the Raiders, I like the Packers. Go, Pack, go. You guys will get to hear me react tomorrow as I watch a team that I despise because the Packers are playing the Saints. I fucking hate the Saints. So I want to be shitting all over the Saints through the entirety of the race tomorrow.
21 years old out of Litchfield, Connecticut.
That's about as close as you'll get to an NFL stream anytime soon on this channel, probably.
Last race he was at Bristol, where he ended up finishing in the 6th position. Right now he's going to lose that 3rd spot.
Not a lot going on up front. It's Briscoe way out front, Sieg 2nd. Gregson just cleared off Fredo for 3rd. Unfortunately, Gregson hasn't put himself in the fucking wall yet.
That's the difference right there. You can see
very unfortunate.
Just a little bit ahead of him in racecraft and so forth, and has worked his way around him. And 21 car though moving around.
Noah's got to feel pretty good about this run he's having. We talked to Noah this week, and I mean, I don't even know if down is the right word. He was just really unhappy, just clearly unhappy, not happy with how they're running, not feeling good, not feeling like himself. Was really hoping to come to Vegas, his hometown, and get his mojo back. And it seems like so far he's been able to do that.
Yeah, when we talked to him,
I'm 0-1 this week on game picks. I picked Jacksonville to beat Miami. Boy, was I way off on that. I was one of the 4 people that watched that game, by the way. Just like I'll be one of the 4 people that's actually going to watch the Jets and Broncos on Thursday.
Lost my mojo, but just something's been off, so I kind of just need to go back to the, like, just be selfish.
Do we really care what Noah Gregson has to say? This guy's a fucking tool.
This last month hasn't really been any fun at all.
I'm going to make a compilation of me shitting on Noah Gregson on all my streams and send it to him.
As far as he just made the playoffs, and that's the way he sounded this week.
Guys, don't you think when you look at the 9
People care about what Gregson likes to say, has to say, about as much as they care about NRF's YouTube channel.
He won at Bristol. It was a bit controversial contact with his teammate Justin Allgaier. So Jeff, you know, it's not all about how you.
If you ever want to know what it'd be like if Skip Bayless covered NASCAR, subscribe to NRF on YouTube.
Relationships within teammates. There's so many things asked about a race car driver, more than just speed in a race car.
I think now would be the time to get rid of Breeze if you're playing fantasy football.
A lot of controversy on track, a lot of drivers mad at him, and how do you juggle that? How do you juggle selfish race car driver, right? Because you have to be selfish on the racetrack, but there's a limit, and finding that limit for young drivers is difficult, and I think that transition and learning those things has been hard on them.
I think what we see is the guy that shows his emotions. You know,
See, even you guys want to talk football. That's why I didn't do truck race last night. I'm not that invested in the truck series. So I'm not the only one that wants to just come here and talk football when nothing else is going on. At least during football season, when there's nothing going on during a race, like right now, we can talk about something else.
Yeah, wanted to make sure he got back here to his family and his support group. Came back just a little bit early. Kelly?
Yeah, Noah admitted to us in that call that he probably got ahead of his skis a couple of times racing during the middle part of this summer. But when we talk about him feeling not quite like himself in terms of his driving style, he said there have just been so many opinions and so much advice on what I should be doing. And he said it just kind of screwed him up a little bit, which is why he said he wants to get back to doing what he knows. And one other note from Noah, before he came in for that pit stop, he let his crew know that he's been having a bloody nose in the car. So listen to the radio on the possible solution.
Yeah, give me like a paper towel or something. We'll get you some roll bar padding. Shut up in my nose. It's gotta be pretty comfy.
So I have to imagine that was a bit of a joke, putting roll bar foam up in his nose to stop that.
Hey guys, that YouTube video is when Drew Brees tries to throw the ball further than 7 yards down the field.
Too tight on exit to run the top, but after the restart, he said this thing is rolling now.
You ever had bloody nose in the car, Jeff?
I had a bloody nose after the race, yeah, not in the car.
I had one during the race.
And Noah Gregson is on his period, apparently. You hear that, guys? Noah Gregson is on his period right in the middle of a race.
After the race, I guess to probably punch me in the nose, but he saw somebody beat each other. I was having a bloody nose during the race, and he walked up to me to probably punch me, and he's like, "Oh, somebody's already been here."
Well, obviously, we hope it's not a laughing matter. Noah's got a nosebleed behind the wheel of the 9.
Noah's on his period.
That right now, Briscoe out front. He's already led 41 laps here in Vegas.
This race is really starting to look like the spring race here. Bored, hungry, and wanting to play a video game. Not a good combination. Hungry because my fucking dinner sucked balls. I gotta stop trusting KFC. I should have stopped trusting KFC when they took everything I like off the menu. At least they brought their baked beans back. I should have known better than to go there, though. Kentucky grilled chicken. By the way, I'm a Falcons fan, so of course I'm going to celebrate the decline of Drew Brees. fucking famous Jameis is going to be on the field by week 6 or 7. You watch. Dude, Peyton Manning got benched in 2015 straight up. Like, Peyton had that plantar fascia, whatever the fuck was wrong with his foot. Plantar fascia, whatever it's called. And even before that, though, they played that game against Kansas City. Denver did that year, and Peyton threw like 5 or 6 interceptions and a half. And they were like, you know what, Peyton? Why don't you just sit your old ass down? Then when Peyton got healthy again, like, yeah, you're on the bench, man. And he only got in because, well, we all knew Brock Osweiler sucked and was just a mediocre at best game manager. And to give the team a spark, you know, they threw Peyton back in there against the Chargers last game of the year. And then the Broncos went to the playoffs and stomped Carolina's ass in the Super Bowl, making my day. If only I knew what was coming the next year, but still. That day was fun because I loved watching the Panthers get their shit kicked in, which is going to happen a lot this year. So maybe 2020 is not a complete loss because I'm going to watch Tampa Bay underachieve, Drew Brees' arm fall off, and Carolina get their shit kicked in about every week.
Tomorrow, Sunday Night Football.
There it is, Packers Saints, smart up. Cup race at 7, though. Right before that game.
7 p.m. Eastern for football nights in America. Earlier this year, that's right.
Alvin Kamara is going to be the Saints' leading receiver this year, catching the ball out of the backfield. We got a battle for second. Ryan Sieg and Noah Gregson.
And Noah Gregson, and here comes Gregson. He's going to take second away from Sieg.
Boy, regardless, Sieg is having such a good day.
Sieg was in second, still running well. 39 car. Noah Gregson, his hometown here, showing some speed.
I think it can't be said enough. Who is Ryan Sieg in front of? He's in front of Penske. He's in front of Gibbs. He's in front of RCR. He's in front of Junior Motorsports. He's in front of Colleague. I mean, he's putting on a show tonight. A very impressive run. And you see CMR, the construction roofing company that's on the hood there. That deal was put together last year for a couple races. This was a full season. And Steve, they've said, hey, we love what we've got here. We're coming back. And that's what Ryan Sieg is doing with running well.
And I think that's what makes this story so much more special for me, is this is a family-run team that continues to find a way to not just perform, but to build. Right now they have a partner that believes in them. They've used that support of the partner to get newer equipment, Marty, and here they are running into
I don't think Sieg's going to win anybody any money tonight, but God, what a good day he's having. Unless you bet on him to have a top 5 or something.
Ryan Sieg sitting in third right now, although not very happy with lap traffic. These leaders are having to deal with that frequently, almost every lap, and Ryan has not been too happy with how lap traffic has treated him. Behind him is Austin Cindric, maybe not having the night they wanted on the 22, or maybe is it the night they wanted? I talked to Brian Wilson, the crew chief for Austin Cindric, earlier today, and he said, hey, all we need in round 1 are base hits. Yes, we want to win races, and you need to win races if you want to win a championship, but with the points cushion we have, base hits for these first 3 races, that'll get us through the next round, Kelly.
Ross Chastain now back in the 9th position, and the handling of his car has swung from being loose earlier this race to being on the tight side. They're a little bit worried about him wearing out that right front tire, but that's not all he's dealing with. The knob on his brake bias lever has fallen off, and they're trying to figure out how they can come up with a solution. Listen in.
So do you think as close as hungry you can get it? Is it something you want to try? Or you don't want to pass it to me. I got something I can pick up if I don't use it. You got something better. This is what I'm used to fixing stuff with. I hear you, brother. We'll get you something.
Chastain is struggling. Good God, he's 9th. I didn't realize he'd fallen that far back.
Ryan Snyder currently running in his 16th position. He's been trying to communicate with his crew chief, trying to tell him all the different things he's been experiencing. Let's listen to his radio real quick.
Hey, anybody get a PS5 out there? Because I don't have one yet. Honestly, I'm a jackass for trying to buy one right now before I get this next job or whatever.
So listening to my side there, he's experiencing a lot of the same things I experienced last night in the race. Going through 3 and 4, going through 1 and 2 especially. You have some of those bumps. He's feeling that tire chatter. As he's going through those bumps, the car's wanting to push up the track. He's getting a little bit tight. When he came in for the last pit stop, we made a few adjustments to try to help that out. And now he's actually feeling a little bit loose when I was listening to his radio just a moment ago. We'll see if he can make some more adjustments to get that balance the way he wants.
Yeah, this is not a good race, and I don't see it getting any better.
And yes, that name is familiar. Myatt Snyder, son of Marty Snyder.
Got a battle for the lead right here, though. Gregson has closed in on Briscoe. Gregson's got really good long-run speed. If you remember Homestead earlier this year, Gregson was half a lap faster than the rest of the field. And Las Vegas has similar characteristics to Homestead as far as multiple grooves and everything like that. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised that Gregson's running so well here, especially over the course of this 35-lap run we're in the middle of right now.
Take young drivers. Then a championship with Tyler Reddick. Now a little bit of consistency, actually having the same driver a couple of years. And that's new for Dave Ellens in this 19. They see a lot of variety there, but good adjustments, good speed. He has a car that I think, it's only an adjustment away from being the best car here.
These two cars really run the bottom of the race.
I wonder if NASCAR's going to change the aero package next year in Cup. I swear to God, they really need to.
Trying to find grip. These two guys locked right on the bottom.
Just thinking out loud.
I really like the look at Nola's car right there. Now he's able to stay on that white line further around the corner.
Yeah, man, you're working hard at it. We see it.
And Brooks won some championships too. That was Earl Barber, longtime spotter for Jimmy Johnson. He's the guy from the Mountains.
So important for that 9 car to be able to run that white line a little bit further around the corner because he's getting clean air. As the 98 of Briscoe leaves that white line, it gives him just more downforce on that nose and on the whole car.
I'm so bored and hungry.
Drifts up the racetrack, going by lap traffic. Cody Vanderwall again in 52.
It's almost like it's a little, I don't want to call it effortless, like he's not trying, but his car is just working so much better. Jeff, he doesn't have to push it, right? He can just be a lot more patient, as you mentioned, around that white line.
I think he's doing a great job of getting all there is and not trying to get too much. And we say it every week, right? Everybody thinks you just smash the gas harder and sooner to go faster, but a lot of times it's about the rhythm that you get in. This side-by-side battle right here. This is for that 10th place, 1 point on the line.
Chastain's battling it out with Riley Herbst for 10th.
Half joking, but we have to wonder about that contact on the 10. I agreed with your assumption. It didn't look like heavy contact, but definitely something has hurt this 10 car. They do not have the speed they had earlier.
Yeah, if they caught just the right rear, I think you'd be okay. But if you've damaged the right front or knocked the toe any which way, it's going to hurt the front end, hurt the turn on that car. It's definitely lost the speed.
You ever notice that drivers that run the top all the time think that you hit the wall, it doesn't hurt it?
Wait a minute.
We've just seen these cars.
Texas beat Texas Tech 63-50. Wow.
At the Homestead racetrack, well, for the championship, those guys just bounce off the fence several times throughout the race. So I'm anticipating this 10 car just making a few adjustments and getting this thing back up toward the front.
Great little battle right here for that 10th spot.
Yeah. They are fighting, aren't they? Riley is racing, I wouldn't call him more mature, but his moves don't look quite as much to match his youth, right? He's driving around.
I'm just scrolling Twitter right now because there's literally nothing going on in this race.
First year doing this. Marty.
Hey Steve, here we are with 5 to go in stage 2, and this is one of the things for the Xfinity Series. If you're a crew chief sitting on top of this box, this may be your last best chance to make an adjustment on your car, right? And it is getting cooler here at Vegas. It's still probably 80 plus degrees here, but it's cooled down certainly from the start of the race, and it will be dark when this race finishes. So how critical is this stop?
Is it going to be just as boring when this race finishes?
Changes to the car and adjusting track.
When we talk about skill sets, when it comes to Sundays in the Cup Series, you have to be.
Hey, at least next year we know we have one less cookie cutter mile-and-a-half jack-off track because, Texas is losing a race to Circuit of the Americas.
Not as much about strategy, but how quickly can you adjust your car? They're only going
So,
to get at max
that's good.
4 pit stops. This being the second.
Less of this kind of shit next year will be a good thing.
Big swings, get ahead ahead of it, even if you have to back up. And oh, by the way, Rick, the whole time, the sun's setting, the track's changing.
Well, and that's what we heard out of Steve earlier, telling his driver, hey, the track is going to continue to change throughout this.
You guys forget that Nashville Super Speedway has a race next year? Not the fairgrounds. I'd forgotten that Nashville's getting a race next year.
Around 6:30, so still about a half an hour away from that before more changes.
2 to go on the stage. Briscoe's still in front of Gregson by about half a second.
2, and Chase Briscoe trying to make a little bit of history for himself.
God.
He has never, and this is a surprise,
Man, am I
he has
fucking
never
hungry.
swept the first 2 stages of a race.
Really, more than anything, I'm thirsty.
Right, so many laps he's led, races that he's won this year.
That's felt like a commentator, so I wasn't going to say anything, add anything. Silence out of me.
1 to go in the stage.
Too superstitious, Steve. You're way too superstitious. Final lap. Noah Gregson is running.
Gregson picked up about a 10th that last lap. Does he have anything here? Got to find about 2.5 more for this last lap.
10. Again, playoff drivers. Everybody's going to get stage points.
I don't think he's going to get there.
So important. If they want to continue to advance, you can't be in the bottom 4 in the points at the end.
Chase Briscoe in stage 2. Sweep the stages.
The 98, Chase Briscoe,
Hurrah.
sweeps the first 2 stages in a race.
What could possibly go wrong from here?
Comes Ryan Sieg.
Ryan Sieg 4th.
Place finish. Ryan Sieg with a lot of points earned tonight. That's 15 points he's earned tonight, guys.
Chase Briscoe coming in as the winningest driver in the Xfinity Series, trying to make it now.
Look at all them stickers above the door. I have a prediction that for the All-Star race at Texas, they're going to try to put it on the dirt track or something. I don't think they're dumb enough with the current Cup aero package to be like, yeah, let's have a Cup All-Star race at Texas. So I feel like Texas Motor Speedway is going to do something different for that because they know their track sucks. But I'll give up the All-Star race to Texas any day. I don't give 2 shits about the All-Star race, if I'm being perfectly fucking honest. I really don't. I was like, yeah, we're going to Circuit of the Americas, and all it took was getting the All-Star race at Texas. Who cares? Fuck it. We got a Cup race at Circuit of the Americas. So that's worth it, because the All-Star race doesn't fucking matter. Nobody cares about it anymore anyway. I would have kept it at Bristol or something, but or maybe hear me out. Why don't we fix up North Wilkesboro? Just a girl with a dream. Just a girl with a dream. Be right back. I'm fucking thirsty. So, I was thinking, you guys don't need me to stream every race because it's okay if I skip the truck race because the less I stream, the more I'll have to say when I do stream. I won't get like burnt out and run out of shit to talk about because I have no life. Oh man, I hope I can find a job I'm okay with. I just gotta keep telling myself it's just temporary. It's not going to be a permanent one. My actual one will be back sooner or later. Actually, later. Probably later than sooner. From the way he was talking the other day, but.
Look at this NASCAR playoffs with a chance to win a 2021 Toyota GR Supra 3.0 Premium. Plus get access to
4 years on YouTube has not been very profitable.
NASCAR Cup Series. Right. Get started at NASCAR.com/Toyota Playoffs. Getting ready for pit stops once again. Putting the position positions back into the hands of the crews. We talked about how important they are, and they will be throughout these playoffs. Chase Briscoe,
North Wilkesboro.
leading the
Let me see, because I actually don't even really know. We're going to find out together right now.
Noah Gregson kicks from the second position. His car feels really good.
Our
He said
city,
it starts off really good,
NC
just that
to
last 5 or 10 laps in a row.
Wilkesboro. It's not that far, but I don't even know the exact distance. Hour and 46 minutes. There you go. There's the little map right there. Over there's Charlotte, there's Greensboro, and there's North Wilkesboro. So yeah, I could go. If they ever go back racing at Wilkesboro, I'll be there. If we're ever allowed to go anywhere ever again.
Chase Briscoe, you see the swag adjustment going in for him. Trying to go for the clean sweep today. 2 stage wins, a clean sweep today. 2 stage wins, looks tight as he drives along, and Chase Briscoe holds the lead here on pit road.
Brent Jones gains a couple spots.
Briscoe keeps the lead on pit road.
A couple this time on pit road.
Isn't it a goddamn shame that between North Carolina and South Carolina, we only have 2 tracks that have cup races? Darlington has 1 and Charlotte has 2. Rockinham's further. Let me see. I'm pretty sure Rockinham's a bit farther away. To Rockingham. It's got to be farther away. Yeah, it's over 2 hours. 2.5 hours roughly to Rockingham. An hour and 45 to 2 hours to Wilkesboro. And then Charlotte Motor Speedway is about an hour and 20 from here. Just imagine all the races I could be going to if NASCAR didn't decide to stop going to good racetracks. And now Myrtle Beach doesn't even exist anymore. Myrtle Beach racetrack is gone. That's about 3.5 to 4 hours from here, like Darlington. I love that commercial for Xfinity because it shows Michael Annett winning. Coverage will resume shortly, it says. My little NBC app. Let's get this race over with so I can go play something. Oh, I gotta probably work. I either gotta work out before I go to bed or before the games tomorrow. I haven't made up my mind yet when I'm doing it.
Round 2 race coverage at 7 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. The pre-race starting at 6 p.m. So that's the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series playoffs going on right now, also in Vegas. It's the first race of round 1. Chase Briscoe certainly cashing in, no surprise. Ryan Sieg has been the surprise probably of the night. He came into this race 8 below the cut line, currently sitting 11 above, in great position. He finished 3rd at Las Vegas when the series was there in February. Keep an eye on Justin Allgaier. He's got a little bit of a comeback going. No stage points after stage 1, able to get a couple here in stage 2. And going back to Chase Briscoe, remember in our pre-race, he was Nate Ryan's championship choice. So Chase Briscoe certainly, of course, the stage that matters, the one coming up. So we'll have to see if he can seal the deal. You know, drama in the playoffs, synonymous with the Dazzle Jeans in Las Vegas. Let's go to our Lieutenant Commander, Jesse Awuji, for another great story, a player to watch tonight, Jesse.
Well, it's definitely a great story for sure. Brandon Brown, the Cinderella story of the Xfinity Series this year. He made the playoffs with his small family-owned team. As you can see with the pictures there, a lot of beautiful family photos. His grandpa, Orville, is the one who pushed him into racing. He told his dad, hey, get my grandkid into racing.
What about his Uncle Redenbacher?
They have a small family-run team running in the Xfinity Series. Now in the playoffs, he finished 15th on the last stage and is currently running 17th to start this next one. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with it, but let's see how far he can go in these playoffs. Rick?
Yeah, Jesse, he said when they got down at Bristol and they realized that they were in the playoffs.
Hey, man, you know what I miss? Drinking chocolate milk.
He said they were so excited when he was driving back. It was him and the guys that were in the car with him or the van with him. And he said he made it about...
I love when I'm bored now. The first thing that comes to mind is all the shit that I can't eat anymore.
He drove the rest of the way home. Getting ready for the restart and the start of the final stage.
Stage 3, Briscoe. Go Briscoe. Fuck Noah Gregson.
Briscoe had commented about spinning tires. Looked a bit
Not a good push in that outside lane again.
better than the older tires earlier.
Gregson trying to surge ahead here on the inside line. Not going to be able to clear him as they go down the backstretch.
Side by side. Briscoe's still not clear into 3. Now he's clear. He's clear in the center. See what run he gets off the corner here. And Briscoe's clear. He's got the lead. Okay. But Gregson did have good long run speed there at the end of that last run, so we'll see how this goes. It's probably going to be a long run. We got 102 laps to go. Kill me now.
I'm sorry, we're going to be to jump on you there. Yeah, I agree. We've heard that the 7 didn't like his race car. Jason Burnett said, stick with me. I'm going to make changes. The sun's going to go down. And here he is, up inside the top 10, working on the top 5. Trying to recover. Those lack of stage points are going to hurt, but if he can run somewhere inside the top 5, Marty, that will kind of, take a little bit of the pain out of the run.
Hey, Steve, sometimes when you guys were...
Hey, what happened? Harrison Burton said he was flying under the radar, but I don't even see him in the top 10.
That was right. Cooling down, Justin Allgaier getting better. And remember,
What happened?
So well here a couple of years ago in the Cup Series race. They were not very good during the day, but when it came nighttime, they got so much better.
Remember that time Allgaier had a cup rod and it was that shitty 51 car? Poor guy.
Now, hold on. They're never promises, and they're never empty. You really hope you're going to make it, but you never promise. You say, I promise I'm going to try, but I'm not going to promise it's going to get better. I deliver
What am I picking for tomorrow? I got to think it over. Haven't really sat and thought about it yet. I've got some ideas kicking around. The obvious, though. Harvick, Hamlin, Truex, that kind of thing. We'll see. Next week, though, I'm just going to go off the wall and say Ty Dillon or something. Ty Dillon or Jimmy Johnson or somebody like that. Now, here's a guy. He just stole... I know he works for NBC, but you ain't got to steal Chris Collinsworth's line. Now, here's a guy.
In this series as well.
Yeah, defending Truck Series champion. I'd have to say is perhaps the favorite to do it again, although Austin Hill had something to say about that last night.
What was that look on your face there, Jeff? I saw a little...
We are halfway through this race.
Sure about Brett Moffitt being the favorite?
Ugh.
Argue that. He doesn't look happy after truck races. I don't think... I've never seen him look happy ever.
Well, I've seen him hit a golf ball really far one time, and he looked pretty happy after he did that.
Right, because it was farther than yours.
Well, that would make him smile. Marty.
Hey, Rick, you get the sense that Ryan Sieg, who sits behind this battle trying to get around Anthony Alfredo, knows what kind of car he has. The team knows as well. They gave him a pep talk before Stage 3 started.
Game 7, baby. Michael Jordan. Let's go. You're Michael. Let's go. Michael Jordan, 23. The big boy.
One problem for Ryan, the AC hose has fallen out the top of his helmet. They told him to kind of grab it if he could.
Don't worry about it. You're over halfway through the race. You don't need AC. Back in the day, we didn't have AC in our cars.
Ryan Sieg having a terrific run trying to get that 6th spot right now.
Well, Alfredo is running really tight on Sieg's outside right now.
Just letting you know.
Just to clear that up.
Yeah, just to let you know. You're Michael.
It's 3-wide battle right here.
3 wide. Haley, Sieg, and Alfredo. And Haley takes both spots. Said Haley's got balls all of a sudden, man. I like the new Justin Haley.
Hose is falling off his helmet, and on a hot night like this, that can be very uncomfortable. There's no air in your helmet whatsoever. It takes a toll on you.
We saw the thermometer earlier under caution. It was up to 120 degrees.
By the way, there's a 0% chance of rain. We have been on such a hot streak for races not getting rained out for the last couple of months.
Those guys he was battling with on the inside of
I'm sure that will come to an end at Talladega because it rains every goddamn time we go to Talladega and Daytona now. So, but it's been fun not having to worry about weather watching these races.
He's been sideways. I don't think he's lacking any speed. He might be lacking some grip. Yeah. He's not lacking no speed.
I got that 10 car Ross Chastain. He was falling back big time for the end of stage 2.
Michael Annett is 22 points below the cut line, and Harrison Burton is 7 out. Riley Herbst is 20 out, but that's not much of a surprise. Whoa! Daniel Hemrick in the back of Alfredo. Alfredo saved it. Wow.
That was a really, really good save.
What a save. That came out of nowhere.
Harrison, just let me through, guys.
Oh, yeah, Daniel Hemrick's racing, and the 8 car's not been taken out yet. Give it time.
Hemrick's gave it all day. We've seen Jeff Burton in it the last few weeks. Daniel back in at South Point on the hood.
Yeah, the contact was really interesting, getting in the corner.
Yeah, what the hell?
The first frame was 8 car just running the back of him.
He sure did.
Almost wrecked that 21 car. Great job by Anthony to keep it going straight and not hit anything to keep him to remain competitive and finish this race.
And for Anthony, with that situation, it's like, what are you doing, man? They just running to the back of me on quarter entry. And I'd be really frustrated.
If I was driving an 8 car, I wouldn't touch anybody. Car might just break apart on its own. It's cursed. Briscoe, Gregson, Cindric, Allgaier, Brandon Jones, top 5. 92 laps to go. We're here till the bitter end. Give me something to look at on Racing Reference that we can talk about. We're going to go to Racing Reference now. Look at that picture of Austin Hill. What does he look like? He looks like Squidward's house on SpongeBob. That's exactly what he looks like. It's something to look up on Racing Reference. Because I don't think this race is going to get interesting anytime soon. If you listen closely, you can hear somebody playing clarinet in Austin Hill's head. Before you go to bed tonight, make sure you draw your sea bear circle around your house. I really should get SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom and stream that shit. That'd be fun. I suck at those kind. I suck at all video games, but those kinds of games I really do suck at. I don't know. I'm 26 years old. I can figure it out now. Maybe a game I sucked at when I was 9 years old, I won't suck at when I'm 26. Almost 27. Boy, that's a terrifying thought. That was almost 20 years ago. We're going to look up a Petty, but not the ones you're thinking of. Ladies and gentlemen, Richie Petty. You guys remember Richie Petty? Boy, he didn't have much of a career. Little Richie Petty. Look at all these pitties.
NASCAR playoffs. You can listen in on pit strategy, spotter communication, and what crew chiefs and drivers say throughout the race. Log into the app use on mobile devices. You can visit NASCAR.com/scanner. Always interesting to hear that communication in race. Right along here with Riley Herbst.
Riley Worst. That's his new nickname. Where did who come from? Jeff, I just saw your comment. Where did who come from?
Gotta wait on the throttle. The nose is
Random camera shot of Dale Jr. there. Look at him.
Straightaway. Let's go to the top. No, on the bottom.
Jr. trying to drive the car for Ross. That thing's too loose, Jr. He can't go to the top.
Pretty rough on the front end. Fun racetrack.
What is that thing on the side of Ross's dash there? What the hell is that?
When it really gets going. Carry so much speed, you get way back to the gas way earlier on the high side than you can.
See that little pink thing waving around there? What is that?
You wave forever on the throttle, and when you run the high side, man, you were back to the gas so soon, and that carries so much speed down the next straightaway. Yeah, such a great shot. It's offerpad.com camera. What is he looking at, right? It's so important to look where you want to be. So he has decided he's going to run the top at 1 and 2, and you saw how much higher you entered the top that time than you did the run before, the lap before rather. It's so important. If you can enter higher, it's going to make the corner work so much better. See what Ross does here. He'll go back to the bottom, looking for that line. Once he get his left side tires right on that line. Now it's feeling the car. When you go back to the throttle, it's about feel. It's not about what you see, it's what you feel. When can the car take that throttle? When can it take that acceleration? Right now, he's looking for...
I'm just totally distracted by whatever that pink thing is on Ross Chastain's dash right now.
So we've been with him
That's waving around like a flaccid dick or something.
just searching around, trying to find what's best for his car, getting lap times for his spotter. It's fun watching drivers.
Boy, this race is fucking boring. They are obviously bored too, because we've been on Ross Chastain's visor cam for like 5 laps.
It's all you. We'll find some speed.
I hate this racetrack. I hate that it exists.
I could just ride right here. Well, I don't know. I don't know how you guys do it.
I could ride right here. It's like ASMR. I could fall asleep right now with this onboard camera shit.
So, Rick, one way that when I was a crew chief, I would go back and relive races is when you carry the car, you can get a copy of it after. And I could watch the entire race from Dale Jr.'s perspective. And I would match that up with his complaints to the car, and it just helped me kind of understand, physically see where you were fighting, what you were fighting. Junior, right? So if you said it was loose off, okay, well, off is a big area, right? I mean, off, where is off? But I ride on board, and I can see right when you start fighting the wheel a little bit, and then I can take that information to the, the track map that I use to adjust race cars and really help me understand.
We're still on Ross Chastain's visor camera in the car.
Understand whatever he's trying to tell them over the radio. You hear that? Throttle at 1 and 2. Here, right here. He's moved down.
Still looking at it.
And it's really limiting how much throttle he can use in that high side. I think
They are getting their money's worth out of this visor cam.
are running right on the bottom. There really is no middle groove or middle ground.
Back to the bottom of 3 and 4.
He's telling you, like, that ain't working. Whatever you're doing is not working. Lap times have been pretty good, though. Before he done lap before that, he was back before the fastest car on the racetrack. Man, it's disappointing, too, when you love running the top. You don't want to hear your crew chief say run the bottom.
3 spots in front of him is Brandon Jones running in the 5th spot, Kelly.
No, that's not the tape. I know the tape on the steering wheel. There is something to the left side that's like waving in the fucking wind. It's not the tape. Are you talking about the tape in the center of the steering wheel?
He has had 3 wins already this season, and he's got a completely different mentality. He said, starting tonight, he's going to get really aggressive. He said, I've got to start driving closer to guys. I've got to start forcing the issue because he thinks these playoffs become more about a mental game as much as anything else. He's got a strong car right now. It has trended from 3 numbers too free to about 3 numbers too tight, but he continues to make
This race is about 3 numbers too boring. Because it's a fucking mile and a half.
Sometimes a mental win can be taking a bad race car and making it better. Right in front of the 19 of Brandon Jones is that 7 of Allgaier. So we talk about trying to get up inside the top 5. Jason Burdett, Justin Allgaier has pulled that off. Here they are currently running 4th. Now, unfortunately for Junior Motorsports, while Allgaier has found decent speed and Gregson has found decent speed in the 2nd position, Michael Annette in the 1 is not having the day at all that they're looking for. Currently in the 15th position. Just not finding the speed I expect out of this one. I'm not going to say he's a top 5 car week in and week out, but he's a solid 6th to 10th place car, and really every different style racetrack. This is, I feel, a step down in their performance from what we've seen before entering the playoffs.
See, Michael Annette would agree with that. He told us earlier this week at mile-and-a-half tracks, we've been 5th to 7th. Right now they're 15th. He said 5th to 7th isn't good enough. We need to win in these playoffs. He said, I would love to get that win knocked out other than a super speedway. Obviously, he's won at Daytona before, and Talladega coming up next week. They're putting a lot of hope in that with this race team. But he said, we need to get better. This is certainly not the direction that Travis
Well, I know about the tape on the center of the steering wheel, but there was something waving in the wind.
Right here, look on the left side of the screen, Michael Annette.
And it was constantly to the left side of the car.
Well, you know, win at Talladega and all this can be gone away. You don't want it to have to be a win. Right? You'd like to come out of here with close to the bubble, where you can just kind of fight your way through points.
So boring.
Ahead, Talladega,
We play something.
Charlotte, Roval. Those are the next 2 races in this round.
I'm
of
bored.
12. Up front, Briscoe. He's already run.
Can't play anything because I'm streaming on the PC and I'm watching the race on the PlayStation. So I'm kind of just fucked having to sit here and struggle to get through this. Michael, am I getting any money for Briscoe winning? That would perk me back up. See, Allgaier's running the top 5 now. Good for him. Sieg is 6th. He's getting a little better as the run goes on this time because he had dropped all the way back to about 8th. Boy, that Applebee's commercial just reminded me how shitty my dinner was tonight because I couldn't think of anything else to eat. Can't even eat cereal anymore because, like, I think I might have mentioned this before. I was doing research on, like, is there any cereals out there that are, like, sugar-free that are worth the shit? It's like, nope, they all taste like tree twigs. Twigs, I said twigs. Cereal without any kind of sugar in it whatsoever tastes like fucking trees. And I don't want to eat those shitty cereals, so I just have to cut out cereal altogether. Unless I want to eat fucking Quaker Oats or some shit. Can't even eat Captain Crunch anymore. I would hurt somebody for some Crunch Berries right now. $4.50? Ooh, hooray. Figures the guy's going to win when I get the least amount of money. That $20 at Darlington would have been phenomenal. Still mad about that. $70 goddamn laps. Guys, I am so bored. I can't stand it. I'm so bored. This racetrack sucks. They should just fucking bulldoze it and never fucking race there again.
And when talking with Chase Briscoe earlier this week,
if there's ever a terrorist attack, I hope it's at an empty Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
That he's locked in to something for 2021. Here's what he had to say.
But no, I haven't signed anything for next year. I still have nothing, set in stone. Forward-wise, I'm still having another year of my contract, but I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm
I would knock a workout out right now if I wasn't streaming.
What team I'm going to be driving for? I don't know any of those things right now. And I think the biggest thing for me is just to go win as many of these.
Actually, a lot of my legs fucking hurt from the last one, so I would not be working out right now.
You know, kind of like I've done all year long. That's the best thing I can do for trying to stay healthy. So that's what I'm going to continue to try to do.
And Marty, he's continued to tell us that every race is an audition.
Rick with 7 wins in the bank, not only trying to sweep the night here in Vegas after winning the first 2 stages, also trying to sweep the season here at Las Vegas for the Xfinity Series. That would make it 8 wins if he's able to do that. So as Chase mentioned, and a very important point, his contract is with Ford. It's not with Stewart-Haas. So Ford has the ability to move him anywhere he wants to, anywhere they want to. Xfinity Series trucks put up to the Cup Series. But Jeff, if this young man finishes this season the way it's looking like he's going to right now, if you're Ford, how do you not put him in the Cup Series in 2021? Seems like the only love.
How many guys going to take the Benedetto's ride?
Marty, I think it goes into last year as well. Like, you know, we saw him in the second half of last year keep pace for his teammate Cole Custer. And Cole Custer moved up. He made the playoffs as a rookie this year in the Cup Series. Yeah, he won a race. And so I think that what we saw last year, and you add that with what we see this year with Chase Briscoe.
Anybody got anything to keep me busy?
Right, that's the question. Is there going to be a seat?
This is so boring.
Chase Briscoe in the Cup Series?
I hate mile-and-a-half racetracks, especially this late in the year.
If I'm Stewart-Haas, if I'm any 14,
I'm glad the playoffs are vastly different from what they used to be. But oh boy, I can't wait till Texas and Kansas near the end of the year. Oh boy.
Asphalt races is not that high. Tons of dirt experience. So I think the upside for Chase Briscoe.
At least the 2 weeks after this won't be boring.
I don't move him up. He's doing great. Why move him up? Suarez won a championship.
I wouldn't move him up either. There's no good ride available.
Why we've seen success now. I thought the transition.
Unless you want to shit the Benedetto out of his ride.
On the other side of that, Custer 3 years in Xfinity. Tyler Reddick 2 championships in Xfinity.
Yeah, Las Vegas has that little track across the road.
Has been smoother.
Not big enough for a cup race, but I mean, fuck. Can we do anything other than this fucking race twice a year?
I feel he could stay at the Xfinity Series level, continue to get great experience.
This is like soul-crushingly boring.
Series in 22. A year is not going to help driving the old car. Running another year in Xfinity, that would be my counter, though, of why another year's fine.
Not good.
That's a great argument, but you're never ready. Right? You're never ready. I mean, you're never going to leave the Xfinity Series and say, hey, I'm ready. And, you know, think about this. Kyle Busch, Jack Ingram, Sam Martin are the only drivers with more wins than Briscoe through 26 races in a season. So he can win. We know he can win, and we know it's going to be a huge jump for all of these guys when they go there. I hear what you're saying. You got to be in the right situation, and owners have to.
How many of you'd rather be watching a short track race right now?
That maybe moved up a little quick, Joey Logano. But Joey Logano, after all of the successes that the trials and tribulations he went through, then had success.
Yeah, but he had to leave Joe Gibbs to do it. And I'll be honest, I didn't think Jeff was going to have all those stats. He just I thought that was a little dirty pool. We were having some general conversations, and he started throwing some big names around the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, and stats. He backed him up with stats, too, Kelly.
Checking in on the 11 of Justin Haley. No Colleague Racing team has ever advanced out of the first round of the playoffs.
This race is every bit as dog shit as the spring race was. I should have skipped this one. I had a feeling it was going to suck. These cars do not like not racing on mile-and-a-halfs.
We thought we had to reinvent the wheel coming into the playoffs. This time around, we realized we just don't need to do that. We can take race cars and what we know already works pretty well and just fine-tune on them. Even the last couple races of this season, they've used that approach. They feel like it's paying off. They said the biggest thing is just not to freak each other out. These guys just trying to take it race by race, Marty.
Well, Kelly Harrison Burton brought a lot of momentum into the playoffs, a couple of fourth-place finishes, but he told us earlier this week, it's good when you're upset when you finish fourth. I feel like our team is better than that. We've shown.
Is it good when you're upset that you're watching this race?
Not the night that the 20 team wanted. Harrison told me before the race, I really feel like we can run well here at Vegas, but they have struggled all evening long, and the entire evening, it's been the same exact story. Corner, exit off, they have just not been good. In fact, at one point, Kelly, he said, we're absolutely terrible on the exit of the corner right here where Harrison's going through turn 2 right now.
Looking in on his Las Vegas teammate, Riley Hurst, right now running in the 13th position. First year in the playoffs, he said it is awesome, and it typically brings out the best in everyone. I hope it brings out the best in
60 laps to go.
He wanted to work on with situational awareness. Too rattled that things aren't going as well as we'd like. Instead of taking an
I deserve $50 for Briscoe winning if I watch all of this. Falcons wins and losses. Well, let's look at the schedule right now, so I can get an idea. Let's do anything other than pay attention to this fucking race.
Currently 16, now 15 cars on the...
Yeah, it's nice, Rick Allen. Anyway. Okay, so loss. I'm going to count the wins, okay? To give you an idea of how shit we're going to be, so... About 8 wins. They'll probably wind up about 8 and 8, 7 and 9, something like that. 9 and 7 if they were lucky. Because I think they, I talked a lot of shit earlier, but they should beat Chicago. They should beat Carolina. They should beat Minnesota and Detroit and Carolina again, as well as Denver. They might beat the Saints once. They'll lose to the Raiders. They'll probably beat the Chargers. They'll probably beat Tampa Bay at least once. They'll get their shit kicked in by Kansas City. They'll win 7 or 8 games total. Maybe. Maybe. I doubt it. That's being optimistic. Optimistic is 8 wins for a defense that's that bad. With a head coach that can't get anybody to play 4 quarters. Well, I mean, on the offensive side, they played 4 quarters. Maybe Dirk Cutter needs to be the fucking interim head coach. I mean, they should go ahead and fire Dan Quinn and make Dirk the interim head coach till we can find a real head coach next year. Because this ain't working. Harrison Burton's on pit road. We got our first pit stops. 55 to go. Splitting the stage in half, I see. So, yeah, that's something that's happening. Atlanta's going to lead the league in yards per game and wind up 7 and 9.
54 to go here in the Xfinity Series race at Las Vegas. Harrison Burton, the first of those to pit from the top 10. He comes to pit road, a fairly big track bar adjustment, trying to tighten up that race car on corner exit for Harrison. His teammate Brandon Jones on pit road in front of you, Kelly.
He came to pit road from the 6th position.
I like these guys pitting as soon as they can.
Ended up 3 numbers a little bit too tight, so they made a chassis adjustment and 4 Goodyear tires to help out Brandon Jones. And then you see the 18 of Riley Hersey also was just getting too tight. You see the wrench goes in for a slight chassis adjustment there. On the
Cindric on pit road. Gregson on pit road. Chastain.
Justin Allgaier on pit road. They've made the car better, but they need to be better if they're going to get up to Chase Briscoe. Track bar adjustment.
You're not gonna. Just let this race run out. Let me get my $5 or whatever and get out of here.
They need to make a big adjustment to get there. It was wedge and also air pressure adjustment for Austin Cindric. Meanwhile, Chase Briscoe has led 121 laps tonight. Comes to pit road. Said the car is very good. Just a little bit too free on entry, but that does tighten up the longer they run. So a very small air pressure adjustment for Chase Briscoe trying to get the first win in the Xfinity Series playoffs, Kelly.
Chase Briscoe pitted.
And Ryan Seed coming down. down pit road, hitting the last of those drivers who are in the playoffs. Remember, he does not have that helmet hose. Jeff Tolan,
Oh, Sieg slid through his box. Youch. Implications. Ron Sieg slid through his pit box and had to back up. Actually, he slid through his pit box and must have thought he was in reverse because then he drove forward and then had to back up. So, horrendous pit stop for Ryan Sieg, as he was like the last good car to get to pit road.
Perhaps, add some distraction to the driver to make a mistake to slide through the blocks, plus the 39, one of the last cars to come to pit road, so the old tires are also going to cost him time. You just see, kind of overcooked it, and concrete looked slick, and then it was still in drive. He finally gets it in reverse, but between the mistake of sliding through and running long, this is going to be a 10 to 15 second penalty to the 39 as far as comparing him to the other cars.
50 to go. Only a quarter of this shit show to get through now. Not to be a negative Nancy, but I hate mile-and-a-half tracks. And the later in the year we get, the less tolerance I have for them.
So he's got to come here pretty soon.
And I like this gamble. It's not their night. They need something to go their way. They need to just play.
Oh yeah, Michael Annette's trying to stay out and catch a caution. There you go. Come on, throw a caution. There's debris everywhere, surely.
Right now he's only 9 seconds in front of Chase Briscoe, and that gap will go away very quickly because fresher tires for Chase Briscoe able to turn a lot faster laps than what Michael Annette will, and so it won't be long before the 98 is very big in his mirror.
Yeah, to circle back around the left side, you see Sieg in the 9th position. They'll gain one more when the net comes to pit road, so that was definitely costly. Harrison Burton. Rick, you asked me when we saw the 20 come to pit road, hey, is this going to bring everybody? I thought it would take more laps. I thought he was far enough back that leaders weren't going to jump on it right away. I was wrong. Just that alone brought the entire field to pit road. So it only took one guy to decide it was time to come to pit road. They all followed. Let's listen into the 98 of Briscoe. Currently second, could be the leader when the cycle's out.
I pitted too early, but I didn't want to give him a reason to have to get in hot, so I was expecting to lose some there.
That sounds like a conversation between the crew chief and the spotter, probably on the second channel. The spotter feels that Briscoe wasn't as aggressive to pit road as he could be with a 3.5 second lead. I can understand a driver being a little conservative. And Richard Boswell saying, listen, I came a little too early. I expected to lose a little time. We're still fine. Don't worry about it. And looking at the lap times, he's more than fine. Still the fastest car on the racetrack.
We got a tire in the grass on the front stretch. That might bring out a caution.
Right? So NASCAR knows the yellow has to come out, but they're going to wait on Michael Annette to pit. They don't want to change the
Nah, fuck it. Put it out.
That is not an inherent danger. It's something that needs to be cleaned up. But right now, Travis Mack
tires rolled off a pit route. And there's the caution. Oh, NASCAR, I love you.
That's a sticker tire.
Oh, NASCAR. I love you. Oh, man.
I'm surprised by this. NASCAR, I would say, history would say.
Put it out.
They must have felt, though, it was too dangerous. The way Las Vegas is, that tire's out there. So a huge break for the one car, Marty.
And you better believe Travis Mack was making sure the NASCAR
awesome.
official was on the tire. Mentioned it several times. Now the concern for Michael Annette, they were probably going to bring him the next lap. Travis told him, hey, make sure you're on the apron so that the fuel cell is even, right, Steve? You don't want to be on the banking and the fuel run away from the fuel pickup. But Travis Mack rolling the dice, and they were about to go a lap down and got the caution he needed. 45 to go in Vegas.
Gambling Vegas is never quite that fun. Good for them.
Yeah, this has been a...
I mean, it's a gamble, and I pick on...
Michael Annette, ladies and gentlemen.
He knew the opportunity for a caution could happen and what it would present.
Oh, look at this.
You want to know who's to go to, Rick?
They're going to take it right to him. Rush Trucking, so that's Clint Boyer's.
Looks like it's
crew,
Joe Graff Jr.
Oh, it's going to go to the 08.
It is interesting that it's a sticker tire.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Why would you have lost control of that?
Sometimes NASCAR makes me laugh.
You got hit during a pit stop or rolled away.
And throwing that caution there really made me laugh.
See Dave Green, the head official.
I'm alive again.
Threw it out there for a caution.
He's like, hey, y'all.
Yeah, dangerous tire. It's just sitting there, menacingly.
I mean, somebody coming in could have hit that tire before they were able to put it on. So ultimately, the penalty might not go to that team because it might not have been, their fault.
Well, how many times, Rick? How many times have we seen a car come off turn 4 and get spun through the grass right there? That's why Steve Letarte didn't say that.
What do they do? And it's a gamble for some of these teams, right? If this thing goes green the rest of the way,
I felt threatened by that tire.
But they just put a set on. That puts those guys in a very interesting situation whether to put another set of tires on here or not.
Yeah, I think you have to stay out on the racetrack with 44 laps to go. It's just too early to put that set of tires on.
I know Michael Nett's going to pit.
He's going to line up outside the top 10, but with the freshest tires, maybe if you're in the middle of the field, you can gamble. There's only 14 cars in the lead lap. Or if you were one of the earlier cars, maybe Harrison Burton, we mentioned he was one of the first cars on pit road on that 144. Maybe he tries to flip the strategy and get a little advantage. But if you're one of the fast cars, Briscoe or Cindric, I'm just not sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can and then glue these tires back up to go back on the car, but...
Free pass is going to go to Brandon Brown. He was the highest scored non-lead lap car. And so that'll put 15 back on the lead lap.
Careful not to pass the pace car right here. I think you stay on the apron so that you're trying to keep fuel in that fuel pickup. But do not pass that pace car.
Look to see if anyone follows them. No takers.
Ain't nobody going to pit with him.
Looks like Michael Nett's going to be the only one from the top 10 to come to pit road.
And Steve, they were starting to get a little worried they might run out of fuel. They were thankful that NASCAR opened pit road, and Travis Mack with the gamble, and then may not turn out to be
NASCAR's like, let's spice this shit up a little bit.
It was funny, he came on the radio and said, man,
somebody in race control fell asleep and hit the button.
When he was in the lead here, but Michael Annett, on a day when it looked like they were about to go down the lap, Kelly, they take the gamble, they get the caution, and Michael Annett pitted from the lead. Also Ryan Sieg, coming down pit road, and they're having trouble with the car turning, and after that bad pit stop, they thought, why not coming down pit road? And also Harrison Burton here taking the opportunity to come down pit road. So a couple of playoff cars here in the top 10 taking advantage of this caution here with 43 to go.
I like this call for Harrison Burton. He was the first car on pit road. He had the oldest of the new tires. Hasn't had the best night. Trying to do something, Rick. Trying to get on the other side of it. Maybe find...
Well, here's hoping more interesting shit happens. We're only going to have about 39 to go when they restart. So that should fly by pretty fast. Now that it's not a long, strung out, boring ass green flag run on a 1.5 mile track. Oh, fuck you, Cole. Cole Custer just tweeted a picture of his fucking dinner. It's In-N-Out burger. And that burger looks so good. I can still eat burgers. I just can't eat any more today. Stick to the plan. Damn, it's painful.
Important because the next one in the playoffs,
Talladega next Saturday.
It looms large. The windshield
That'll be
for
fun.
these drivers this next Saturday.
Single file train or not, it's still going to be enjoyable. I just love that kind of racing.
Of this round of 12. Steve, the 39 team came to pit road. Looks like they might have had some issues on pit road when they were there.
Yeah, they did. You never have issues, but a good thing to have them at this point. You see right here, there's an issue with the gun. So that's actually the front tire changer who's now going around the car to make sure the rear tires are tight. They had some issue with the rear gun. So like I said, you never want to have an issue, but luckily...
I could have done that. Maybe next time I'll do
There's
that.
still some time to overcome it. 42 laps
If
to
I give
go.
KFC another chance, Jeff.
15 cars on the lead lap. Guys, now it's all about what lane you want to start in. We got a mixture. We got some older tires at the front.
Okay, Briscoe outside, Cindric inside, Gregson outside. Briscoe better be ready for that 3 wide move from Gregson behind him. That's going to kill his run.
2 rows, maybe the 3rd row. I need to give up the spot to be there.
All these new tires, Harrison Burton, those guys, they want to start up top like you're saying, Junior. They want a place to go with those new tires. Get 3
Michael
wide.
Annette is 8th.
Kelly, how about the 10
Actually, no, he's 7th on the inside lane.
Those drivers that came to pit road just now, but they did not put
40 to go
tires
this time
on.
when they
It
restart.
sounded like Ross just had a loose wheel, so they came in to tighten those lug nuts. Made an air pressure adjustment while he was here, but I've come down to their pit stall and I can confirm they still have a set of sticker tires laying here for 10.
So we got a little bit of variety on strategy. Some guys have a set of tires left, some don't. The top, make sure I say this correctly, looking at time against scoring, the top 7 have somewhere between 5 and 10 laps on their tires, depending when they last pitted on the green. Mike Lynette, Jeremy Clements, Harrison Burton, Anthony Alfredo, all have brand new tires. Now they're only 5 or 8 laps newer than the cars in front, but they're still newer. We'll see if they'll be able to use them to an advantage with 41 laps to go.
2 Junior Motorsports cars there in row 2 with Justin Allgaier and Noah Gregson. So the 2 Fords once again line up in the front row. And
Jeff, we can't talk about wings right now. I'm hungry.
Chase Briscoe on the outside. Austin Cindric on
Yay.
the inside.
Go Briscoe.
40 laps to go.
And there's Gregson shooting to the outside, but Briscoe covers it pretty nicely. Good push into 1, I think.
Gregson, a good
Restart by Cindric, though, no doubt.
Oh, Ross Chastain with a big wiggle.
Big wiggle.
Somehow not collect anyone.
Chastain just lost a lot of track position, though.
Together here, the 11 and the 10.
Cindric and Briscoe side by side up front. I think Briscoe's going to clear him off of 4. He does on the outside. 39 to go. Go Briscoe, bring me some money. It's not a lot, but times are really tough now. I say it every week, but now times are really tough.
A really good move there. He's able to stay out. They get the caution.
Give me all your dollars. This race can go green now. I don't give a shit.
See the 19 of Jones pulls out of line, goes to the bottom. That kind of stacks Harrison Burton up behind the 8, but no, the 8 gets good momentum through the corner. The 20.
I couldn't tell if Brandon Jones was slowing down or if Daniel Hemrick just was that fast.
Teammate in the 19.
Next imaging on the hood of that 20, and he's able to clear his teammate who has almost an identical looking car.
Once again goes in.
Good God, Allgaier got tight in the center of 1 and 2. That car wanted to go straight.
Take a left right here in the bottom as Anthony Alfredo swings left as well.
Come on, Michael Annette, take advantage of those slightly fresher tires.
Hugging that white line, trying to get to the inside of
Michael Annette's not doing a good job of taking advantage of fresher tires.
now for that 4th spot.
If there's even that big of a difference.
Clear Allgaier right here. When you clear him, it's going to be hard to do. Justin's going to fight hard on that outside, but behind Harrison is more new tires. You want to be the first car with new tires, so it's really important for Harrison to try to get by Justin Allgaier in that 7 car.
Things start to heat up too as we see maybe a little contact.
Alfredo forcing it in there on Brandon Jones.
To the left rear quarter.
Boy, if he'd have wrecked him, that'd have made my day.
And up the track with Brandon Jones. Riley Herbst right on the back bumper.
Alfredo's not afraid to stick that nose in there and just get you out of shape. He does it a lot.
So Haley still in front of teammate Ross Chastain.
He's had a good night all night in that smooth white 39 car. Has to make sure to take advantage of it. Don't get caught up and get yourself in a wreck or something.
All these guys with the newer tires sort of racing each other.
Yeah.
More so than moving forward.
Yep, ain't nobody moving forward there.
Would 8-lap tires be
Look how pretty the fucking sky looks right now. My God. Going, if you look back at turn 2, the sky's like pink and purple. That's
Might
pretty.
even out a little bit as the guys start to move around, chase the high line. With just a few laps to go, 34 laps to go.
That was what I was wondering, Junior, right? If the 7 has to go like this, up the track with the old tires sooner, does that help the 20 run the ball?
Daniel Hemrick in the top 5. Good for him.
It's hard to pass on the bottom. We can see it.
Briscoe trying to drive away.
Got 2 tires behind you.
A little over a second and a half ahead.
Because that's going to take away a lot of speed, having you pitch down on the bottom of the racetrack. So we go up the racetrack, that's where the speed's going to be for the older tire.
You know, Justin Allgaier, just 34 years old. You know,
Well, at this point, if Briscoe didn't win, then this race really would have been a waste of time for me.
Experience. This guy knows what to do with his race car to make your life difficult when you're behind him.
He's going around those bumps in 1 and 2. He's not going any higher than he has to, just to get around those bumps.
Still 32 laps.
Let's play a little defense as Michael, and that's kind of on the scene of that one car. Justin Allgaier continues to run in the 5th position.
The cut line, Ross Chastain is 2 points out. Michael Nett's 13 out. Riley Herbst 15 out. How about Ryan Siegs ahead of Chastain and Annette in points?
Certainly pays on a night like tonight. In the first stage, they couldn't run in the top 15. Got 0 stage points. Crept up on it. Finally got 2 stage points in stage 2. And here they are with 32 to go, trying to get a top 5. That experience certainly showing through and trying to hold on to that 5th position right now, Kelly, over Harrison Burton.
Native Las Vegas, Noah Gregson told me he had a nice week here at home. Going to catch up with some family and friends. Went bike riding, had some good home-cooked meals.
Noah Gregson went bike riding. Unlike his father, he does it sober, so he didn't fall and hit his head, which is really unfortunate.
Extra mile in preparation. He said he's made sure not to cut any corners. He's taking this very seriously.
Or run over any curbs like his dad probably does when he drives.
Come away to advance to the round of 8 with the win here in his hometown. He admits this hasn't always been his best track. He feels like they've had good runs, just haven't put together a complete run. Right now, he's running 3rd, and there's still plenty of time to go. 30 laps for him to make his move to get to victory lane.
Yeah, it would be huge for hometown Noah Gregson to get to victory lane. Right now, running in that 3rd spot, hoping to advance to the.
Going to full screen commercial now? Really? It's bold. Well, there's nothing going on anyway. They could do the rest of the race in commercial for all I care. We're not missing anything. Oh, no, it's side by side. It just looked like they were going to a full screen commercial. Look at that. The 52 car's still running. They haven't been able to bring a lot of cars back in one piece here to Forest City in the last few months. So good for them. That's a long ride back, though. Las Vegas to right here where I live. Let's look at how far the 52 team has to drive back. $31 hours. So right here in Forest City where the 52 team shop is only 2,000 miles away from Las Vegas. I mean, you know. That's a long fucking trip. And they actually have a slightly shorter trip than everybody else because you get to Forest City before you get to Concord or Charlotte or Mooresville where the rest of the shops are. So they actually have a little shorter trip by about an hour to an hour and a half. 2 hours in some cases. "25 laps to go. I am still bored. I'll be happy if Briscoe wins, but I'm going to do the Kyle Busch thing where I'm thinking about that $20 I should have won at Darlington. Almost done here.
We'll be talking about that after the race on NASCAR American Post-Race Show. And then Proving Grounds will follow that up. Noah Gragson chasing after the 22 of Austin Cindric, who is also chasing after the 98 of Chase Briscoe. And that has been a common theme this season, the 22 and the 98 racing each other, when actually they almost feel a little bit like they could be teammates, so there's a lot of respect. Listen to what Austin Cindric had to say about racing against the 98.
Being in a position to
Do I have to?
For a championship is awesome, but at the same time, you've got no friends on the racetrack. Obviously, we're not teammates. There's been some weekends where we've been able to work together, and there's some weekends where we're our toughest competitors. So I feel like we still need to take care of each other, make sure we get both of those forwards in the championship 4-round. I know that's what's important to the Blue Oval, and hopefully we can.
Boy, if the Cup race tomorrow night's anything like this one, we're going to be talking a lot about the Saints and the Packers.
Different disciplines and the trucks in different areas, they've been teammates, been a part of the same organizations, and so now, even though they're driving for the same manufacturer, they're driving for two different organizations, so they are competing against each other, competing for a championship.
This guy right here in second place, Cindric. I think the faster car right behind him is Noah Gragson, but right behind them, only about 2 seconds. Harrison Burton on those newer tires.
Hey, Michael Annett and Harrison Burton are in the top 5 on their fresher tires.
Michael Annett in tow.
8 to 10 lap fresher tires.
That 9 and that 22 within a couple more laps.
20 to
Fastest
go.
cars on the racetrack. Marty?
Harrison and both Michael and Ed have done a terrific job of taking advantage of these fresher Goodyear tires, and you mentioned it, Junior, there, tearing up through the field, going to catch Gragson and Cindric here pretty quickly. I love what Harrison told us earlier this week. He said he feels like one of the best parts of his game and what he's gotten so much better at in 2020 is the mental side of the game. How did he do that? Listening to Denny Hamlin and Chris Gabehart on the radio. He told us, I picked up so much by how they communicated, how Denny never gets flustered in a race, kind of keeps a very even keel, and Harrison has had to do that tonight. They did not have a very good car for much of this race, but now...
Can we not race at Las Vegas twice a year ever again?
Tires, the young man, 19-year-old, is doing it. Coming up through the field right now.
He's doing it.
To get in the top 3 finish here this evening in Vegas.
Well, nothing's free, Rick, and the 20 Harrison Burton has fresh tires, but that means he has 0
Look at Harrison Burton blocking hard on Michael Annett. Don't block too hard, you get run over doing that.
Inside. The one also has fresh tires. He has a set left because of that call by Travis Mack. Remember,
Michael Annett working on 4th right now. What a comeback. He just didn't get any stage points tonight, so he's still going to be in the red coming out of this race. Going to be right now he's 11 points out. He'll be 10 out here if he makes this pass, with a chance to get more spots because they're probably going to catch Gragson by the end of the race.
Harrison Burton, we talked about it. Marty has mentioned it.
For 3rd.
This series really is a proving ground for all these drivers, trying to advance, trying to maybe make it to the Cup level. And Harrison Burton, you mentioned, 19 years old. His motto has been something to prove. He said to us, I want to put my name in rooms where they're not yet. So I want my name
What does that mean?
brought up in a room where it currently hasn't been brought up.
You mentioned proving
I want to put my name in a room.
I don't mean to have somebody steal one of your crew members.
That's a new one.
It's also proving grounds for the crew members, and I'm going to tell you, Travis Mack on the one.
We got a slow car on the back, the 36.
Yellow. I really like what Travis Mack does. I think he has a great.
And he ran over a water bottle. That's debris.
How they can be called differently. I think he believes in his driver, Michael Annett. He has
No caution yet.
He's gotten more out of Michael Annett than
There probably won't be. We won't get that lucky. Actually, not fuck it. I don't care about no caution. Briscoe needs to win. Let's go. Stay green.
Even 12 points for this one car, Jeff, from where it was running earlier in the day.
Well, if this 36 car doesn't make it back to the pits, it's bad news for these guys right here, because it's just enough laps left in this race for enough people to come down pit road to get that set of tires and still in their pits.
Yeah. Remember, the one has that set, though. That was the advantage of not pitting under green, right? He has new tires now.
Well, that 36 is getting really slow.
How many laps do these guys need to run? How far do we get into this race when nobody comes down pit road?
Oh, I think at this point, even if you had a green-white checker, you would come get your new tires. There's so many laps on them. The leaders have 32 laps. As we see Alex LeBay.
That 36 is creeping.
Long. I think the 98 is such a fast race car with 16 laps to go. Anything more than a green-white checker. Even for a green-white checker, I would come get tires. Marty?
Actually, could Chase Briscoe want this caution?
I think the 36 is going to make it. Uh-oh, wait. Briscoe's got a vibration.
Boswell, they have been dominant tonight, leading 149 laps. 15 to go. Steve, how nervous would you be when your driver says vibration with 15 to go?
Well, I was nervous before that, and now we see this 36 car. Junior, you asked, you know, how far do we got to get into this run before anyone pits? I'm not sure.
Caution's about to come out. I see it on the leaderboard. Oh, man.
We see how successful cars are moving to the front, and we see how much this is hurting the 7 of Justin Allgaier. You talking about being the last guy on old tires is the worst case. Well, Allgaier is one of the last guys on old tires.
Allgaier running in the 7th spot.
And there's the caution.
Was able to keep going.
He got to pit road, but he's like at the entrance and he's not moving.
And so the caution has come out. All right, crew chief.
Got to pit.
Where you make your money.
Got to pit.
Decision.
It's pretty easy, pit. Now Harrison Burton has to stay out.
Let's take Harrison Burton.
Harrison Burton, Ron Sieg, and Riley Herbst don't have sets of tires left.
A set of 10-lap scuffs that we know he took off. He currently is sitting on 26-lap tires. Do they pit and put on those colder 10-lap scuffs, or do these tires cool enough where you're better off to just try to fire? With 13 to go, though,
oh boy,
that is a hard decision, because those ones right there, brand new.
Probably just lost the money, but you know.
Think about it too. By the time they get back and ready to restart,
As bored as I've been, I really don't care. I'd rather be entertained at this point.
Potentially, if everybody in front of them is going to come, yeah, if everybody else comes, they stay up front. They're up front. He and Mike Lynette could be sitting on 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think they could be. But the problem is we're not in Indianapolis.
Michael Lynette's got a set of tires left. He'll pit.
How wide this groove is. So if you're off the pace just a couple tenths of a section, Dale Jr., you're on the bottom. I'm on the top. You're on the top. I'm on the bottom. I'm coming by one way or another.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if anything, maybe Harrison Burton, you don't have an advantage of tires. You can't even get even on tires, but you can get clean air. So could you come down pit road? Could you come down pit road and bolt on rights? Bolt them 10-lap rights on, take the clean air, the control of the restart, and hope for the best.
But the problem is if Sieg and Herbst don't do that, now you don't have control anymore, right? I think at this point, as much as I hate it for Harrison Burton, control of the race is his best friend. You just said it. The only way to guarantee that is to stay out.
Oh, I just lost my money.
You can't get even. It was a great pit call. It's not going to work out. Well, you don't
Pit
know
road is open. Here comes Briscoe. Here comes everybody.
A lot coming to pit road.
Everybody pitting. Okay. Maybe I didn't waste my money here.
His number 9 car will pit from the 3rd position. His race car's been a little bit too tight most of the night, but he said that last time around, it fired off a little bit.
We should be all right.
That last set, a sticker of Goodyear tires on it. Make a little adjustment for no Grayson, Marty.
Kelly, middle of your screen, Austin Cindric. Originally, Brian Wilson, his crew chief, said, let's do the opposite of what the 98 does. But I'm going to leave it up to you. Austin making this call to come in for 4 fresh Goodyear tires. And Chase Briscoe and Richard Boswell had a long conversation about whether or not to pit here. He said, how much slower are older tires? Boswell told him 2 seconds. Briscoe said, I want to be on offense.
Briscoe wins the race off pit road. Look at Michael Lynette coming out in 3rd. And he had a fresh set of tires left, so he's going to be on equal tires with the leaders now.
Now he comes off pit road 3rd with fresh tires.
Boy, wouldn't you like to win this race and not have to worry about Talladega next week? What a luxury. You know, I got to admit that PS5 pre-order chaos, I'm actually not looking forward to buying a PS5. I mean, I'm looking forward to having one. I'm not looking forward to buying one. Please let me find a little temporary job that I do not hate. Please help me out. Or please let me get lucky and a millionaire stumble into my stream and find me entertaining and be willing to give me money. So I can stream regularly. Nah, I'm the kind of person that if streaming was my job, I'd end up hating that too. So, but I'd still like to give it a shot. Boy, it's fucking hot in here. Not working out anytime soon. It's got to cool down in here. Watch an episode of Gotham. Pedal hard on that bike. That's what I do. That's the workout. Sweat balls in here for a solid hour.
First race of the playoff for the Xfinity Series. 12 drivers fighting for a championship. All 12 drivers trying to get to the round of 8. And Junior, I look at this and I say, okay, Chase Briscoe has been dominant this entire race, but can he be beat tonight?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you get the right restart, get the right help, the right push, and get that clean air, take the lead away from him down the back straightaway or through turns 3 and 4, you can certainly, Cindric and several of these guys have the speed in their car and the knowledge and experience to be able to hold him off.
Yeah, no aggressive. He talked to us this week about getting back to being aggressive, being selfish. Well, here he is with an opportunity, perhaps win this race. So he's going to get a chance.
Go Briscoe.
Will he step it up and try to get aggressive, and will that make
I know it'd be boring and predictable, but
decisions have been made. The tires have been put on. They're either brand new tires.
I wouldn't be upset if Michael Annett won. Like, if Briscoe lost because Michael Annett steals the win, I would actually enjoy that.
And does that match up with those
Money can't buy happiness, but a Michael Annett win can make me happy.
You have a car you expect to run a fuel run, 50
Just because it'd be
60
funny.
laps. That's the type of balance you want in your race car. But now we have a sprint. Inside 10 laps to go, and we see the green flag. Who made the right adjustment for a short run?
I think if you're Noah Gragson, you have to go to the opposite lane of the leader. That's your opportunity to try to win the race. Let's see what he does here. He does that. Then I go to the top. I think even the 20 car I probably would have chosen the top there, Bert.
Yeah, I think I would have chosen top too, with knowing that I have older tires. I would like to go in the top, make everybody go around to the outside.
Well, there's a violation there. That might have been the 68.
That was the 68 in Brown.
Brandon Brown will have to start at the back.
Brandon Brown going to the back. He hit the choose box thingy.
Let's go down to Jesse Owuchi, and obviously some of these drivers have people.
Jesse Owuchi, what's it like to be in a late race situation where you might actually win? Oh, wait, you don't know.
So, as you can see, there's a lot of different cancer tributes going on some of these cars. Justin Allgaier has Aaron Intrikin riding on board today as his cancer tribute supporting NASCAR Foundation, Martin Truex Jr. Foundation, and SherryStrong.org. Justin met Aaron's brother Jacob on pit road a few years ago, and since then his family has actually stayed in touch with him. Aaron ended up losing his life in his battle to cancer, acute leukemia, back in June 17th of this year. Sad but heartwarming story, and it's great to see that Justin is using his platform to honor him. And
okay.
This that you see on these cars is pretty beautiful. I know
9 laps to go.
Different or close to different.
We're almost done here.
Dealt with cancer.
You know what's funny? This race is shorter than an episode of Raw.
Yeah, I love that he's doing it, Rick.
I'm so glad I haven't watched Raw in like 9 months.
Allgaier does here on this, what could potentially be the final restart. 9 laps to go.
9 to go.
Briscoe and Gragson.
Briscoe, Gregson, Harrison, Burton, Annett. Don't be surprised if Gregson just fucking wrecks him or something.
Again, that second row.
So I hope Briscoe, for his sake, gets clear.
A little bit older tires that they bolted back on. Green flags back in the air.
Harrison Burton shit the bed on the restart. 3 wide on the bottom for third.
Ryan Sieg went all the way down to the
Gregson's got a nose ahead.
the shortest way around. Sparks fly.
I don't think he's going to be clear coming off the corner.
Through 1 and 2.
Oh, Briscoe's going to take it back. He's not clear either. Lots of blocking and chopping going on from third on back. Briscoe's just too fast, though. He's going to clear Gregson easily here. Oh! Chastain, good God. How did he save that? This has been a horrible race for Chastain. He's going to come out of this just fucked as far as playoff standings. He can make it up, but a guy like that shouldn't be in the negative coming out of the first race.
You see Harrison Burton falling back behind Allgaier. Take a look again at the 10. Maybe a little help there from the 22, sure enough.
He was loose anyway.
Just got in the back of him. Hard racing there to build the pack.
7 to go.
3 wide right here down into turn 1. Brandon Jones trying to make that work. Cindric's going to hold him tight. Man, Cindric is a
Briscoe is gone again. Daniel Hemrick's third. How about that?
You get the position back, but they could get loose underneath him.
That's 8th and 9th right there.
Michael Annett, 4. Wow.
Jones.
Junior Motorsports, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Just noticed that. 6 laps to go. This is the longest fucking short race ever.
Gregson running 2nd. Daniel Hemrick, great run in the 3rd position right now. And then number 8, Michael Annett Justin Allgaier in the top 5.
You can see here on the outside, trying to get the run over Harrison Burton. He can't quite get there, but he's got enough momentum to go the inside here. Harrison trying to make it tough on him to get this spot down into 3. Those tires on Harrison's car.
Ron Sieg's recovering nicely. He's going to get a good finish out of this. He's 6th right now. And that's only good enough to get him 6 points to the good right now in the playoff standings.
5 laps to go. Burton way up the racetrack now.
5 to go.
And the 19 coming up. Looking to the inside, that's Brandon Jones.
You mentioned, Junior, those scuffed tires for Harrison. It was a great call to have a chance, but they didn't work. The one of Annette under pressure now from the 7 of Allgaier. Equal tires for these 2 cars. Allgaier in 5th, trying to find a point from his teammate. 3 Junior Motorsports cars, actually. Hendrick, Annette, Allgaier all in the top 5. There were 4 laps to go. Sieg's hoping they can get side by side right here and race each other a little bit. Looks like the 7's going to get to the outside of Annette.
Allgaier to the outside of Annette. That's, well, go Allgaier. Allgaier 4th now.
Now we'll see him come into the picture.
There he is.
And Ryan Sieg's knocking on the door for a top 5.
This is another spot for me, a top 5 potential. After all of the stage points this 39 team has gotten.
Be a huge night for this 39 team. I know they want to win races, but where this team has been, if they can leave here with this many points, that is.
Woo, Michael Annette's really loose. I think Sieg's going to take the spot here.
Sieg to the inside.
Yep, he's there. He's going to take it.
He moves away, not allowing the 1 car to slow him down.
Ryan Sieg, top 5 with 2 to go this time.
Top 5. Now the 22 coming into the picture as well. Under 3 to go.
2 laps to go.
Huge lead right now over Gregson.
Now Annette's going to try to hang on to this spot. Cindric in the 22. Gonna get right on this bumper, get him up out of the racetrack.
God, Cindric just. How is Annette that loose in turn 2?
Gets that rear bumper. That 1 car is not going to have the grip. Pulls the air off that spoiler, loses the back end, easily makes that pass.
All right, mercifully, 1 lap to go. My guy is leading. We're going to make some money today.
He is dominated tonight.
Last lap.
Credit
One Bank, you know it.
Dominated is an understatement. For the first time in his career, he has swept the 1st and 2nd stages. He's led 163 laps.
Jesus.
He's got almost a 1.5-second lead over 2nd place, even after the restart. He called his shot at the beginning of the season. He said, I think it's going to take 8 wins. 8 wins this year to advance to the Cup Series. Well, welcome to win number 8 on the season. Chase Briscoe.
Show me the money. Chase Briscoe wins. Yay. Gregson 2nd, Hemrick 3rd, Allgaier 4th, Ryan Sieg top 5. There you have it.
Briscoe advances to the round of 8. Gregson. 2nd place finish. Hemrick 3rd. Allgaier 4th.
8 wins in a year for Briscoe. God, Stewart Haas is just winning everything. Between Harvick and Briscoe. All they need now is a Truck Series team.
In 10th. 8 wins. Look at the names on this list with Chase Briscoe. Jack Ingram,
Sam Ard.
Sam Ard.
Yay.
Most wins all time through 27 races.
We picked a winner.
And he's got 6 races still to go.
Should have had the win at Bristol. Should have had the win in the Cup race at Darlington, but whatever.
That we talked to said this is the most important race.
Can't get those dollars back now.
Talladega next weekend. Charlotte Roval the week after that to round out this round of 12, the first round of the playoffs for the Xfinity Series. And Chase Briscoe goes back-to-back with wins. He won at Bristol a week ago, and now gets the first race win of the playoffs for the Xfinity Series here at Las Vegas.
Cool. He's Tebowing now.
Marty, I see you sneaking up on it.
Yeah, Rick, last week after they got back to victory lane, after struggling for part of the summer, they said, we're back. And this 98 team certainly making a statement by winning the first playoff race of the year. And Chase, at the beginning of the year, you mentioned it, Rick, said we need 8 wins to kind of establish ourselves But I got to ask you about how you.
Well, Michael, until I get this new job, whenever I get it this week or next or whenever the fuck.
Yeah, first off, incredible.
This will be very nice.
That made my job way too easy, honestly. This is a super fast Fields Ford Mustang. Happy to get them in victory lane. This is their only race they do all year. But yeah, the restart. I knew if I could just take the lead on the restart, I'd be okay. But I was spinning the tires so bad all night for whatever reason. So I guess that Roush Yates horsepower, and just happy to get all of our partners back in victory lane. Highpoint.com, Fourth Performance Racing School, Production Alliance Group, just everybody. It's we've had a lot of wins this year, but this was by far our most dominant car, and I'm so glad I can sleep a little bit easier this week going into Talladega and the road.
I should sleep just fine after watching that race.
In February, you said we need 8 wins. That will
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Michael.
At the time, was that wishful thinking?
If anybody else wants to donate to the poorhouse here, let me know.
And we can get that.
Yeah, I knew that. This team is fully capable of achieving that, and even more. And I just can't say thank you enough to Gene Haas, Tony Stewart, everybody that lets me drive these race cars.
I miss Tony
It's
Stewart.
been an unbelievable season.
I feel like he hasn't been around in ages.
6 more wins we can try to get, and obviously a championship, so that's what we're going to try to do. And just so happy to start the playoffs like this. After the last couple weeks we had to go to Bristol and win, and now win here is pretty good way to start these playoffs.
You can see the smile on his face. You almost can feel the relief too, Rick. Now he knows that he's already into round 2. He doesn't have to worry about Talladega and the Roval, as he mentioned a moment ago.
Well, he's good at the Roval. I don't know why he'd worry about that.
Again, an opportunity, and using Chase Briscoe's words, another audition.
Well, cool. I guess I'm going to go ahead and get the fuck off here because I'm struggling to stay awake now, and I got to work out later. I don't know if I'm working out before I go to sleep or when I wake up. I'm sure I'll regret either choice, but see y'all tomorrow night around 7 whenever opening ceremonies are done. I'm taking off. Have a good one. Enjoy eating all your sugary foods that I can't eat anymore. Have a good night.